Tiananmen Square crackdown. Beijing labeled Rubio's comments as an attack on China's internal affairs.
The Chinese government maintains that discussions about Tiananmen are attempts to undermine its sovereignty.
A U.S. Israeli-supported humanitarian group has temporarily halted food distribution in Gaza following deadly shootings near its aid centers.
The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation reports at least 80 Palestinians have been killed near or en route to its sites.
A Kremlin spokesperson stated that an explosion on the Kerch Strait bridge caused no damage.
Ukraine's government believes increased sanctions could pressure Russia into peace negotiations.
Air quality alerts have been issued across multiple U.S. states due to smoke from Canadian wildfires. The smoke has led to hazy skies and health advisories in affected areas.
Officials recommend that residents limit outdoor activities and use air purifiers indoors.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please? Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
Hey. Break it down, Jimmy. That's Jimmy on the bass. And nobody plays the drums like Paul. Go hit it, Paul. Paul is our Neil Peart wannabe. We all want Paul to be just like Neil Peart. It's just like now, the way he is now. Way to go, guys. Way to go. The number one band, the number one imaginary band in digital broadcasting, right there. Then the Manatees, the number one band. I love those guys. I love them. But do not let them stay in your house overnight unless you have a lock on your refrigerator and your aquarium. Especially if you have like the big fish with the mouths like that. Never mind. You just be careful. Just be careful. For those of you who have not noticed, I am Matt Napo. After Dark. Welcome to Coffee with the Dog, Black version. No Matt today. And so it kind of throws me off my game because I'm used to playing sidekick. I'm not used to being up front here. It's an awkward thing because Matt will, regale and engage, and I don't do that very well. Because I'm not a comedian. I'm a humorist. So I'm not going to waste a lot of your time or a lot of my time. I'm going to play a commercial right off the bat, and it's 9:04 a.m. I'm just practicing. I don't know what the radio station is. I can't do the call letters, but okay, never mind. It's 9:04 a.m. I'm going to do a little bit of the commercial. Well, I think I'll play the whole commercial. It's only 30 seconds long. You know which one it is, I think. Do I know which one it is? That's okay. It's Mind Bloom. It's for Mind Bloom. Mind Bloom with new probiotics. Mind Bloom with probiotics for good for your stomach. Okay, here we go with the commercial, and I'm going to bring in my our special guest today, a guy you probably haven't heard of, Stephen Ortiz. He's new to the show. We'll be so be kind, be gentle with him. He's new here. So Mind Bloom. Mind Bloom.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
Thank you. Before I bring our new person in, I just want to say that I would be remiss if I did not mention that today is June 5th, 2025, Thursday, June 5th, 2025, because I didn't mention it. Stephen sent me a little thing in a private chat, and I'm thinking, who's trying to talk to me while I'm trying to talk to people? And I guess I should read those because they could be important. So, good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you missing your Matt Napo? Are you having coffee without the cream? So are we. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the suffering. Support your local mercenaries.
Whatever you held up disappeared because I think it's green.
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything that was a real product that I could risk putting on. So, oh my God, it's a Ron Kane. A wild Ron Kane appeared.
In the wild yet. He looks like he just
looks like he just crawled out of somebody's cubicle. Oh God. Oh no.
Yeah, lock that camera down before we get a shot of the reason why they call you Kane.
Oh.
Now I'm just we're packing up for our trip to Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Great.
So we're leaving in about an hour and a half or so. Hitting the road.
Nice.
Plug the show. Plug the show. Tell people who's on it, who's featuring, hosting, headlining, where it is, how much it's going to cost them to see you.
Yeah, that I don't know, but you can come see me Sunday at the Mohegan Sun Comics Roadhouse. Show is at 8:00, and this is like it's a competition. It's part of their last comics standing. This is like the 15th year they've done it, so I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, now is this continuous contest that's been going on for 15 years, or they just do a new one each year?
I don't know. You have to figure that out for yourself, GD.
Oh, okay, I'll try.
Well,
small brain.
I also actually just recently I just booked 4 gigs for the next month and a half. June 11th, I'll be at Visions Event Center. June 18th, I'll be at the Fairfield Inn in the Barrel Room.
The Fairfield
June 21st.
It's just
Yeah,
those hotel places are always funny to me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, they're always I don't disagree. They're always weird, and they always something weird always happens. But I'm excited for it. June 21st, I am in a contest in Marcellus, Michigan. They selected a handful of comedians. First place is $2,500. Second place is $1,500, and third place is $800. So that'll be fun. And then July 17th, I'm Summit City Comedy Club has booked me for a bringer show. So be a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm doing. I think at the end of this month is I'm doing Lehigh Valley's funniest, but
Nice.
I think that's at the EMOS Theater or something. I forget where that is.
Yeah, Indy's Funniest is happening right now here in Indiana. I unfortunately my divorce thing was going on right when that all started, so I couldn't get it. But yeah, it would have been nice.
Yeah, we have. There's Philly's Funniest currently going on. That just started at Helium, and that's a pretty big contest. I wanted to get in that again just because I wanted a video, but it filled up quickly. They filled up like 250 spots in no time.
Jesus.
Now, is that the one that Shane Gillis was on? Is that the
Yeah,
one that Shane Gillis won, like, what, 6 years ago? 8 years
yeah, or
ago?
10 years ago or
10 years
whatever it
ago?
was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So this could be this is one of those gigs that could have some opportunity attached to it, like as far as
Uh,
exposure or anything. Where
it I it can, I think, for around the Philly area, but a lot of those people that have won, they've dropped off too. Not all, but there's a good amount that have like just that was kind of like their peak that they dropped off.
well, shit.
Yeah, but it's a weird contest because since it's in Philly, there's a lot of support for Philly comics and the comics that work at the club.
Right.
And so a lot of times, like when you go to perform, you can see it happening in the room. Like, they'll cluster, all the comics will cluster right in front of the stage, and it,
Yeah.
it's it's bad sometimes. It's really bad. It's like this is just
Yeah.
fixed, isn't it?
I have a question for you guys. I've been asked about doing a show July 4th, which is a Friday. It's not local. It's out of town, so I have to travel. And I talked to my wife about it, and I'm already inclined to say no, because a show, a comedy show on July 4th. And I asked them. I said, "Well, what kind of turnout are you expecting?" You know, and they didn't even know. They said, "We don't know."
Well, is this a bar gig? Is this like in a park? Is this is this part of like a
It's a
festival?
regular comedy thing they do. It's a regular show that they produce once a month.
Well, here's the thing. I would expect a decent turnout for this reason, right? Most people are going to be off work. Fireworks won't start till 10 or 11 o'clock in most places just because of how late the sun goes down. I mean, realistically, I could see people still going to a comedy show, especially when you're going to be out by 8 or by, anywhere between 8 and 10, so.
Mr. Ron, you're the show producer. Would you book a show? Would you produce a show for July 4th?
Well, it's funny you say that. I don't have
It is funny. I'm laughing.
a book show on that date, but I have a produced show that I'm doing on July 5th on that Saturday. And I took that date as like I knew it would carry some risk to it because it's the holiday.
Right.
But I also really believe that people will be there because there will be people because it's in a hotel. That club is in a
Okay.
hotel.
All
So there
right.
could be people there. But then I think I think really people want alternatives now for
Mhm.
fireworks instead
Well,
of just being out there and having to deal with the bangs and like the other people and the bullshit around it. I think a
well,
lot of people are opting out of that shit.
and let's be real too with, big public gatherings lately. You've been seeing people running cars through shit, people shooting at people. Like, the world's crazy right now. I think the last thing I want to do is go outside in this real big open thing, Like, I'd rather go to a comedy club.
Yeah, but what's
Yeah,
more patriotic than dying on July 4th if you're an American? Well,
yeah,
Being
if you're white,
free and not celebrating your
exactly.
freedom.
yeah, if you're a white American, if you're a black American, like June 19th would be the patriotic day to go. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that day is maybe a little more riskier than the 5th, but I think all those that whole weekend is risky. So I don't know.
yeah,
I'm almost with them. It could go either way. It could be
well,
really good or it could be really bad.
I'm so skeptical of doing shows near holidays now. I didn't used to. I never cared before. But when I put my own money on the line, it made a
Well, do you got
difference.
to travel far for it if you would
North
do it?
Carolina, it's
Yeah.
like
So
eight
what?
hours,
How far is
eight
that?
hour
Like 4
drive,
hours, 5 hours, 3 hours?
eight hours.
That's not terrible. Oh, 8 hour. Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
Yeah,
close to
it's
the
like
drive
three
I
hours.
think right
It's like
now.
3 hours. I drive 3 hours, and once I'm in Virginia, then I drive 5 hours more.
yeah. Well, I mean, look at it this way. It's almost like 20 hours of driving probably after you factor in everything. So that's almost a day right there that you lose just in driving. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. You may want to really consider that one since it's so far away too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. That's why I'm not so inclined to to do it, but and maybe something in the future.
And those of you that are just joining us, we have Ron Kane joining us, special occasion out of the blue. No Matt today. It's 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, there's the little alarm there. And back to you, GD.
9:15 Eastern. We have to say Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
Right. Just so you know, Ron, we're simulcasting on an AM terrestrial radio station. So please, this time, well, I beg you, don't be yourself today. Please.
What would I do wrong?
Because Matt did not say whether or not they had a 7-second delay, or he didn't warn us or anything. He didn't say like, well, they have an alarm system.
Yeah.
They have a 7-second. I'm assuming they have a 7-second delay, but
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense. And he didn't give any ground rules, but I'm just saying. If it's an opportunity. Although the weirdest, it would be weird to have to keep saying the time every 15 minutes, and it would be weird to have to watch our mouths for eternity.
I mean, it would, but if there was a paycheck attached, I'd be a little more apt to act appropriately.
Yeah, especially in this day and age, it doesn't even make sense to tell people the time and all that shit anymore. Like, oh, it's 9:15. Like, we know we have a phone.
Yeah.
Shut up, Ron.
Yeah, we're providing a very important service. Okay, we're telling the time. Stop it. You're ruining things.
Yeah, there could
already.
be some idiot listening that doesn't know how to tell time.
Thank God I know what time it is.
Now, since you guys plugged a bunch of stuff, I'm just going to plug nothing. Next week, I'm going to be appearing on Queen Elizabeth Croydon's podcast. Now she records it in her garage because she openly said, I'm not putting out a secret of it, she is emulating Mark Maron because she likes the way Mark Maron does his. And so
does that mean she's retiring her podcast as well?
Well, I think she's trying to capture his audience. I don't know, but she liked the way he did his, so she's on her 5th episode, and so I'm going down to her garage on Tuesday to record that. Unless it's live, I don't think it's live. No, it's recorded. And then after that, she sent me a message and says, "Do you want to go to Walter and Sandy's?" And I said, "Sure." And because I think you know both of them, Ron. Walter Gottlieb and Sandy Bernstein? So I'm assuming that since Elizabeth lives in Kensington, that this is probably their Rockville or DC area open mic or something that she does, I guess.
Okay.
No. So that's what, but I said sure without asking for details.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm not doing anything else till July.
Okay. Well, if I happen to win my round on Sunday, then I have to come back to that place, and I'm guess sometime in July. So, and it's like five hours each way.
Ooh. Well, I honestly I don't like contests. I hate contests.
So do I. So do I. This one's a little different, but I figured, I'm gonna do it this year because there's stuff I want to do like performance-wise this year, just like steps and stuff I want to take. And I'm only producing one show this summer, which I'm so thankful for because
no, that's awesome. Yeah.
Just summertime shows
Bill,
are just rough.
No, I agree. And Bill, we will make fun of blind people randomly because then they don't see it coming. So,
So,
ow, that was worse than not laughing, you son of a bitch.
So, Ron, Stu, how many contests have y'all done? I mean, I don't like them. I hate them. I mean, I don't hate a lot of things, but comedy contests I hate.
I've done Philly's Funniest. Did I do that like once so far? But that was like 2 years ago, the last time. And like I said, I was going to do it this year. I was actually kind of motivated to do it, but then it filled up so quickly, and actually I kind of forgot until it was close to the end too. So I was like, then I've done the Magoobies one
Yeah.
twice. And the last time I did Magoobies, I should have moved on to my round. I fucking won that round. But then this one lady, she brought like 40 fucking people with her.
Yeah,
Wow.
that is the biggest reason so I've done two contests myself. The one had panel judges, which I liked, because then it didn't matter how many people you brought. The other one was exactly like that. It was just whoever brought the most people basically won. And I mean, myself and one other person were both told by several people in the audience, you guys were way funnier than the people that moved on. But those people each brought like 30, 40 people. So they each got, more than half the votes when they, at the end of their set, regardless of how shitty they did. And
Yeah.
that's why contests, almost like festivals anymore, really make me nervous, because it's more about who you know and who you bring with you, not always about how good you are. And that really bothers me when it comes to a contest.
I don't. Well, when I did the Magoobies one, I was probably maybe 8 months into doing comedy, because I think they did it once a year, right? It's like a once a year thing, I think.
Well,
And so,
the main show is once, because it happens yearly, but then there's like a round every month
oh, okay, yeah,
until October or November or something like
okay.
that.
So cause I was relatively early. Yeah, and I know it was early because because of the material I did. But when I was done, I think I went up like fifth. And Ron, you pretty much know, and Steven, same. You know how I use things. Whatever's on the stage becomes part of my act. And there
Yeah.
was a stool on the stage, and so the first few people in front of me, nobody did they just did the standard stand up. They told a few jokes in the thing, and I got up there and I did my active thing. I used the stool and the microphone stand and the whole bit. And when I was done, every comedian thought I'd won. And the headliner and feature, because they after the contest on the tail end they have a headliner and a feature, a nationally touring comic. They thought I won. Sean Savoy, he thought I won. Everybody thought I won. I didn't even get into the first round. I didn't even get picked. Because when they bring everybody by, I didn't even the judges pick and then they do it by applause. The judges didn't even pick me.
Yeah.
And I recorded it. And I sent it to a friend of mine who's runs a club and in Florida. And he goes, "This is why I don't do this is why I do not do contests. There's too much politics involved." And he wanted to know what I did to piss off the judges. So I wrote a letter to Magoobies asking him what did I do to piss off the judges. But I already knew what I did to piss off Mr. Magooby. I already knew what I did to piss him off.
Yeah, well, most clubs now do contests because it's a good way for them to make money during the summer.
Yeah.
It's really just a cheap way for them to produce shows. And now I think just about every place has a fucking somebody's funniest, somebody's funniest.
Well, you can tell that the weather is definitely bringing down audience turnout too, which is also why I think they're doing a lot of things like this in the summer. Like, for example, my home club here, they're giving tickets away to regular shows right now because they're not selling enough. Like, it's just because right now it's raining today, but overall it's been low 80s, beautiful out, not a lot of humidity. Who the fuck wants to sit in a building?
Yeah, that's how it is in the Northeast. The summer is always kind of rough for shows. Yeah, I mean, if someone is a real draw, maybe they'll bring people out, and maybe you're lucky because like the weather is just shitty that day. But especially in the Northeast, when it's nice, people don't want to be fucking inside during the summer to watch a comedy show because
it's like that
we've got
everywhere.
and like this winter especially, it wasn't particularly bad like snow wise, but we got a lot of like it was very cold. and we just got like a lot of like rainy and kind of like icy
Same.
days.
Yeah.
And so, especially after this winter, people do not give a fuck. They do not want to be inside. And who
No.
could blame them? And I've been reading a lot of stuff now for the past month that says that's been saying like comedy clubs in general and overall are just down attendance wise because
Yeah.
people are it's either burnout and show fatigue or the one obvious one is money because the
Well,
economy is not great and shit is expensive.
Whoa,
this
whoa,
is
whoa.
this
Well,
is
first of
this
all,
is
Ron, I meant to tell you, that reflects poorly on our dear leader in the White House right now. That
fuck you.
and that. Well,
No, dude.
Who
Look,
gives a shit?
I just there's something about this time of year in general that just sucks with comedy in general. And like you said, big names bring out like, even like Steve-O's coming out here June 9th and 10th. And even I heard they're having trouble selling tickets for that. I mean, he's a big name,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah, and
yeah,
even
so it's
uh did you see that Chappelle's Club has been open now in Yellow Springs for
right.
a couple months, and even that is not even looking like huge turnouts, and that's Chappelle, and he's a draw, and
well,
he's
this is my favorite. Like, you know how like the comedy thing, how the comedy in general, the interest ebbs and flows, right? I feel like we're getting into an ebb a little bit where this is where we start seeing the people that are, not really in it to be in it start falling off because they start going to these shows and people aren't showing up. They get discouraged, and the people that don't really mean it, they're going to fall off. And this is that time of period that it happens. I love it.
yeah, usually the cycle around here is because they don't do like the club doesn't do comedy shows at all during the summer. They shut down from June, July into August and start back up in September. And they do mics and they well anyway. So they do that, but like especially around here, August is terrible for comedy. But in the fall, it'll start people to get interest. Then usually around January is the spike because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this as a New Year's resolution." Then come like February or March, then really start to see them drop off and things like that.
Okay,
Then
Ron.
usually around this time, it's just the hardcores that are still there.
Okay, Ron, I'm going to give you the cue. I'm going to let you know. You might as well cue the boomer music because who's Steve O? I initially when Steven said
Oh my
the name first.
fucking god,
Hold
dude.
on. When Steven first said it, I thought Steve O was the guy that used to be the bouncer from Jerry Springer.
Oh my god, dude, come on.
What?
GD, I'm not buying it this time.
I'm
not
serious.
My grandmother knows. My grandmother knows who Steve-O is.
Okay, well, I maybe.
Welcome to Boomer Corner, the only corner that you can get stuck in.
I mean, I'm going to Google the face so that I know what he looks like. While you guys are talking, but because right after you said Steve O and Ron who knew Steve O was, and Ian goes, he shook his hand or something, and then Foulmouth knew who he was. I'm thinking, okay, this guy must have some kind of traction. Oh, that does not ring a bell. I have no fucking idea who that is.
He's the guy from Jackass. He's
that's where I know the name from. Okay, that's where I know the name
and he's been doing a podcast, and now he's taken what he does physically and turned it into a stand-up show where he does stunts and gets hurt, and it's like a Jerry Springer type deal. Like it's like
you associated with Jerry Springer. See,
yeah, he's not.
I'm
and
just saying,
a pretty decent stand-up too now because he's been doing it for
he
like
is.
15 years.
His stand-up is great. But he combines stand-up with his physicality and his stunts that he does from his Jackass days. And it's a fucking awesome show. I've watched it online a couple of times. I even bought tickets to one of the online, like the live online events. Like, dude, it's such a good show. But
okay, now I even when I saw the pictures, but once you say Jackass, okay, now I know where I heard the name before. It was tied to Jackass. I didn't. I've never seen an episode of Jackass. There's one person on Jackass who I do know the face. I just can't remember his name right now. But if I saw it, if I
Johnny
saw it,
Knoxville.
him, yeah, I know that name, kind of.
Yep. By the way, it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, June 5th, and
you don't have to tell the date. I'm pretty sure it's still going to be June 5th when we end the show.
But also, I bring up the date because Tires Season 2 debuts today on Netflix. And,
yeah, I was just going to mention that.
Yep, I'm excited for it. I'm watching it as soon as we get off here.
I started rewatching Punisher because the original one, the one that was on what was it on Netflix or wherever it was before Disney got a hold of it. I started rewatching that because Punisher is going to figure prominently in Daredevil. What? Oh yeah.
For those of you listening on the radio, Foulmouth Teacher has said, Ron, be careful with those shorts stepping over the camera. We almost saw your kid's old house.
I'm not afraid of it.
We know you're not, buddy. We know.
It's
art. It is kind of art, but remember, Pee Wee Herman, his second trial was about what's art and what isn't, and he got he pled down to not indecent exposure, to possession of obscenity.
Yeah.
Even though it was of a grown man. It was a grown man, and it was considered art in many places, including his home, but not according to the law.
I'm kind of curious to see how well the second season of that show Tires will do, because my biggest problem with it is like, because really after you get past Shane, in my opinion, is like, what is there really to the show? I mean, because it has its moments, but then like when they bring in like Schultz and Stavi, it almost seems like stunt casting a little bit. Like, hey, look, these guys are here.
But, a little bit, yeah, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with the show is like, well, like Shane can carry it so only so far, because I mean, how many times can you just keep making silly faces into the camera until and so hopefully they'll get some improve the secondary characters, his cast around him.
I'm hoping the success will definitely bring in some bigger stars, maybe some faces we recognize, because like I'd love to see like they're bringing in Ron White and a few others. I mean, yeah, I can see that. We'll just have to watch and see. I personally liked Tires overall, like all the way around. I liked it. Sure, it had some moments where I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" But like overall, I liked it. So
okay, Ron, I'm gonna say you can cue the boomer music again. What is Tires? I mean, I know what they are in my car because I just had them rotated yesterday.
Right.
Butter me with Crisco and call me a mule.
Yes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Well, go
Tires
go to your Netflix machine and look it up.
So it's on Netflix. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna fire up this Netflix.
No, I've never watched The Office, either the British version or the American version. I didn't learn about the British version until after the American version came out, and I didn't like the American version. And I should have watched the British version just to see how we screwed it up, because we always screw up shows we steal from England. In my humble opinion.
But see, that is almost a boomer argument right there, though. Like, I don't watch this because it's.
Well, I'd rather watch the original. Is what I'm saying. Is like I want to see what they ripped off first. I never got around to watching The Office, the original version.
Yeah, so even with that, it's because people say, "Oh, yeah, the original was always better," or it's like American Psycho. The movie American Psycho, it divides a lot of people because when you put it up against the book, yeah, it's different. And, some people say,
there was a book.
But that's a different comparison.
Yes.
The book and the movies, you can't. That's totally different. But I'm talking about.
We're talking about the Christian Bale movie, right?
Yeah. But it is like that.
Okay,
because people say, well, this one it's too foolish or whatever, or it's like too comical. But both stand on their own. Like the book is very good, and the movie, yeah, you're not gonna say, oh, this is a masterpiece. but for what the movie is, it is good. It's a good fucking dark, and it's a weird dark ride.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but there are moments in it where it's just where the beats are hitting so just so great. Because like in the book, there are whole chapters uh, devoted to like he's just talking about Huey Lewis and the news. Then the chapter will end like with a sentence like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get those two heads out of my freezer." Then the next chapter starts.
No, so I didn't read the book. I did watch American Psycho a few times, and I liked it. And it was on the other night, and I watched parts of it while it was on. But I had other stuff that I had to do, and I couldn't be near a television set.
Yeah, but yeah, for me, like when when he's talking about Huey Lewis and he takes the axe to Paul's head, that
Yeah.
that is pretty.
Now, I mean, I did try to watch The Office, and when I say try, I don't mean like something stopped me. I was watching it. I deliberately started watching it because of all the buzz it was getting, and I didn't enjoy it. So I stopped, and then I tried it. I tried thinking, well, maybe that was just a bad episode. And then I got to the next one, and it was like, no, I don't enjoy this one either. So I tried 3 times, and I didn't enjoy any of the 3 episodes. For those in Radio Land, we're going to occasionally laugh because we read something in our chat, and we laugh at it before we get a chance to read it out loud to you, so that you know why we laughed. We have a young gentleman, I'm using that term loosely, foul-mouthed teacher, who wrote, "Blind people feel different about the book."
Especially guys named Mike.
I'm just going to empty into a bucket.
No.
Slaptail Nation, baby. Hoorah! Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Diversity Day was great.
The second, okay. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Is there an episode on Tires about Diversity Day? Or
No, but speaking of diversity, I went to this like 2-day meeting, and it they
for work? For work, I'm assuming.
yeah they
Okay.
they were talking about diversity without saying diverse. It was just funny seeing like just the tiptoe around it. And I just wanted to go, you mean diversity? What are we doing here?
That is weird. People are so scared. When did diversity become such a bad thing you can't even talk about or
In
use the word
November?
diversity?
In November?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I understand when it hit the. But why are other people calling down? I mean, why is like so many people willing to just bend the knee
Well,
like that?
and you know
Doesn't
what
make
the
sense.
wording is now? You know what the wording is now?
Oleo, mixed breed.
Belonging is the new word that has replaced diversity. We're all belong here. That type of shit.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's like, why would you? It's just really bad. It's like your friend that had a coke problem, and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna crush Addies and snort Addies.
Or they don't talk about. They have an intervention, and instead of mentioning the drug, they say, "We are here because there's a belonging in your nose that you
Yeah,
keep."
GD
It's
keeps
just stuff.
breaking the mirrors in the house. We gotta stop.
You keep putting this stuff that doesn't belong in your nose. Other things belong in your nose since we're doing belonging.
Yeah.
But you never talk about the cocaine. Yeah, this is stupid. Uh, Now our guest comedian, if she shows up, is a right winger. She is a conservative. And so I guess we can ask her about diversity because she being a female comic, although I don't know how long she's been a female or a comic. To be honest, I don't know the answer to either one, but I'd kind of like to get her view of diversity in comedy.
What
But I
is
won't say
wait,
diversity. I'll ask her about belonging.
is she like a conservative comic?
Well,
she's Blazing Nana. I think she's been on once before. I think
I don't
with
remember
Matt,
her at
but I do think she might lean pretty far right. I don't think she's like. It's kind of hard to explain because like in some of the Facebook groups we're in, they're very diverse groups, right? There's a lot of gay people, a lot of LGBTQ, a lot of black people, a lot of Hispanics. Like, it's a very diverse group. So I mean, I don't think she's a really hateful person. So.
Well, you can be conservative and not be hateful.
Mean like that.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. I know, like in comparison to how the right wing swing of things has gone in our country, generally it's backed by a pretty good amount of hate. You know, so yeah.
But then, how could you avoid that if you lean that way?
I mean, you could be.
That's a valid question. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you could. I feel like you can be a conservative and still push like the right values. I mean, because being conservative, I don't feel like has always been like a negative, hateful thing. Like
no.
in and of itself, it's just the philosophy that people attach to it that really brings it down and drags it down into this racist, hateful KKK.
But that's what it's turned into, though. That's what that whole party's identity now. They've embraced.
Well, right, and that's where I feel like there has to be a divide somewhere that's maybe not as prevalent as we think it is, but it has to be there because like Bill says right here, he's a conservative, but he doesn't support the Republican Party anymore. So, you know, I feel like that's got to be a thing.
But do you support them any less? See, that's a
But the other question is then if you don't support them, are you one of those people like, well, then I just don't vote or something like that? Because that is a cop out as well for either side when people do that. When like, well, this person isn't like, I'm not going to do it, so I should just not vote at all. But then essentially you are voting for your candidate then. Right?
I get that, yeah. No, I agree. It's to quote the great Neil Peart, if you choose not to choose, you still have made a choice.
Yeah.
If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
And there are a good portion of the Republican Party that would almost skew. I guess they would be considered moderates now because they're cool with weed. They're cool with people being gay.
I think those are libertarians.
And they just want like fiscal conservative, you know. But you know that's not going to happen. Get over that, people. Like, I don't know what this whole bit is. It's like no one gives a fuck about what the debt is. So
I agree with you, Ron. I think for the most part, the things that are either party that's why I'm opposed to parties. I don't like parties. I'd rather we just had elections until somebody gets 51% of the vote or 50+% of the vote, and then that's who's the winner is. You know, that would be my choice. But of course, I'm not in charge. But I'm sorry, you go ahead. I lost my train of thought. I read down and looked at some words and I got triggered.
Yeah, when I was in Jacksonville and I was at the Improv, or no, that was like the Comedy Zone down there. And like the one night I was there, they had like a right-leaning comic, and it was just funny seeing the posters of this guy because it's like this guy, and he, of course, the backdrop is like an American flag of some sort, and it's like, this is what you're gonna do, and it's just funny seeing the people line up for him because it was all like white dudes.
You know, I wanted to talk about this real quick because this is happening in my neck of the woods.
The Pacers?
No.
Oh. Thank God.
There was recently a pretty disgusting rate. Like, okay, so let me preface this. So in Fort Wayne, there's a good number of biker bars and biker clubs, right? You know, bunch of gay dudes in leather, and they jumped a black dude at a bar, and you can hear in the video screaming, "Get that N-word!" And it's being investigated as a hate crime now, and it's causing like a really big problem in the area because it's it's shining light on on just the blatant racism that's happening and how ballsy people are getting. I'm trying to find the video. It was a wild fight.
Yeah. Do you think we will have some big racial blow up sometime this summer?
I think so.
If we do, it'll probably see because you said racial. It changes my answer because I think there's going to be one, but I don't know if it's going to be racial, or it could be like a deportation thing, which is it's racial, but it's also like a rights thing, or maybe behind one of the Israel things. Yeah, we're due for an explosion, but I just don't want to put. I don't know where to put my money on what's going to explode.
Before I show this video, it's 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, and we're about to watch this video. This happened right here in Fort Wayne, right here in my backyard. And this is
shit. Is that Steven in the background there? Is that Steve? No wonder you got in the video, Steven. You're in the fight.
Yeah, so basically...
remember, when you visit Indiana this summer, think of love.
Now, dude, this is one of those things, like, I posted on Facebook the other day, like, when I went out to the bar, like, I was a little nervous because, like, this shit's, like, in Fort Wayne in particular, this shit happens a lot, man. Like, this is why I carry a gun. I'm in a wheelchair, bro. If I get caught in something like that, I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that dude was just at a bar and was getting treated like shit.
Was that the black guy? The black guy was the one wearing the yellow reflective vest?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying this because people on the radio don't know this. See, they can't see that he's wearing a yellow reflective vest. He wore the proper colors so they knew that he was a safety. He was a safety hazard. He let them know. When you see those people with the yellow cones in the street, they're saying to traffic, "Don't hit me." That's what those little yellow vests are for. Don't hit me. And they hit him anyway. I don't even know what to think about these people in traffic. If did he just mow down everybody dressed like that, or is it because he's black? That's what I want to know.
They attacked him because they thought he was wearing his colors, as they would like to say on the front door. They're like, we've never seen this gang before. So
that's the same gang that works. That's the same gang that works on our highways. They're the ones that ruin our traffic. Yeah.
Well, if you watch the full video, the dude was sitting there, and these bikers start fucking with him. He goes, "I'm leaving," and he tried leaving, and they're like, "No, motherfucker, you're gonna pay your tab." And he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna pay my tab if you're all gonna sit here and do what you're doing." And he tried leaving, and they fucking jumped him. It's disgusting. Yeah.
Well, like I think I've said before on this show, like 10 to 15 years ago, when we didn't have high school football in our district, when football started, it was all white kids, except maybe you had one black kid in there. Now, fast forward to today, and now our football team is, oh my God, diverse because they needed black players. I mean,
Dude,
come on.
Have you seen?
And it's been great because the whole area now is a little more diverse because of that.
Have you seen the Shane Gillis bit with where he plays a Alabama high school football coach, and he's like, "We're being forced to integrate," and he goes, "But we're not going to put them in." And then it shows their first game, they got whooped, but like 46-0. He goes, "All right, so we messed up. We're going to put them in the second half so we can let our boys get the win, and then they can just ride it home." And then it shows after an upsetting first half, second half, this team wins. And then by the third game, he goes, "Well, the whole team is black now." And he goes, "We're also replacing our offensive coordinator." And he goes, "Wait, what?" And it was a white guy, and he gets fired for a black guy. It's such a good bit. It's so good. Oh, God. Shane Gillis. Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Gilly and Keeves sketches are fucking funny. They're so funny. I like the
GD.
I like the ISIS car dealership.
No, what, Steven? You said GD, like
Yeah,
I.
well, no. Did you pick the picture for the
No,
promo?
no.
Matt did.
I guess
Okay,
what's
because
not.
when Matt Googled her, the lady on the promo is her sister, not her. They look really similar, but they're not the same person.
Okay. I
Well,
thought you sent him
all
pictures,
white people do look alike, so
even to other white people.
yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah.
especially to other white people.
Oh yeah, if you walk into any bar around here, it looks like you're at the character screen of designing your character for any video game because all the guys look the same except maybe they have a different hat and a different shirt on, but all kind of like the same beard and things like that. It's like, yeah, we all do look alike around here.
Yeah, yeah. Indiana's pretty much the same way. Like most white guys are hefty,
Well, I think
bearded,
it's just I
bald.
think it's just it's a human nature thing. I think it's just humans in general when they're all clustered like that and you're around people like that all the time. It makes sense that you'd have like variants of that, like, oh, maybe I'll grow my beard and blah blah, so on and so forth.
Well, when I go to my family functions, and 9 out of 10 black men there are bald. They've shaven their heads. It doesn't matter the age; they can still grow hair. They just shaving their heads, and I stand out like a sore thumb. And I will never voluntarily shave my head.
Yeah.
Never,
Yeah,
ever,
yeah,
ever.
especially during now that it's warmer, that a lot of white shaved heads now. Because if these guys be like, yeah, I'm just going to shave my head.
Look, okay, I feel like that was a little bit of a shot fired at me.
No,
What?
it's
No.
everyone. That's everyone in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
They
it's in
do.
Pennsylvania. Okay, okay, that
Yeah,
makes more
it's
sense.
it's the time of year for white dudes. It's the guys that don't really get haircuts and stuff. Is like, I'm gonna have my wife shave my head if I'm lucky enough to have a wife or a girlfriend. And
See,
Uh,
I've always
it's
just
it's
done
like that.
my
It's like that
own,
song. It's
but
the time of the season for shaving.
yeah. Well,
yeah,
look, like me for example, like my hair gets so thick that like in the summertime, like I'll physically overheat. Like in the summer, like I get really hot. Like so, I gotta. This shit's like fucking. It's like wool. It's horrible. Horrible. Very very horrible.
yeah. The only thing I wish would stop is jorts. We don't need them.
Jorts.
Yeah, we don't need jorts. They should just be burned. It's fun when I see like the guys now, and they're wearing jorts and they're basically dressing like their dads from the '90s. It's like it was never a great look, guys. And white guys, can we stop with the mustaches? It does not do any. It does not do any whites any
That has
When
to
you
stop.
mean mustaches, you mean the overgrown. You don't mean like the standard size mustache. You mean like what the motorcycle
all
handlebar
of them.
ones
All of
or?
them.
All.
All of them. Matt Napo is the only person that is able to pull off a mustache
He
and
doesn't
it's
pull it
and it
off
not
though.
come off.
It's grown.
Well, you know
It's
what I'm
there all the
saying?
time.
All right, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean. I'm just saying because look, most people when they have a mustache, they look either like a '70s porn star or a pedo. Like there's usually no in between.
But aren't
It's
both of you
horrible.
white and don't both of you have mustaches? That's why I asked the
We have
question.
beards attached to our mustaches.
Oh, so you're saying mustache only?
Yeah,
Yes.
mustache
Oh,
only.
okay, okay. I was wondering because I'm looking at both of you have mustaches. I don't understand. Okay, now I
Yeah,
get it.
because like some of the guys now are definitely like skewing like they look like a '90s dad or
Yep.
even like kind of like a grimier like late '70s, early '80s type of vibe where the long hair and they have like these greasy mustaches. It's like that look was never good for anybody. You don't want to
No.
bring it back.
And then I
Well,
had
I
a
have.
coworker who would sit there and he would lick his mustache at me. Like he would just sit there and just go,
Well,
I'm like, oh, stop.
Well, when I worked at this American Chinese restaurant called Manchu Wok, the man the manager at the time, he was like this really big guy, and he had like the grossest mustache because it was like long and to the point where it would like it would cover his bottom lip. And so it was like always wet all the time. Then like if he ate something, it was like a fence catching shit.
Now I know the one trend that I find disturbing to look at is when the people grow their beard, but it doesn't start at the chin; it starts under the chin. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh,
all
neck
this is
beard.
bare,
Neck
and that
beard.
yeah, and it's like it's not here. Like it starts here and it goes under the chin. That's to me that's
This is
disturbing to look
why.
at.
This is why John Beavers keeps calling me Amish, because this fucking camera doesn't do me any justice because it looks like I don't have a mustache. But yeah, like the Amish guys, it's just this and it comes
Right.
down.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
back up.
But yeah, it's like are you talking like a pure like chin strap or like the neck strap?
Yeah. Those are still disturbing to me. But even when I see it on Amish people, I accept it, and I think it's because they're Amish, and it's like the black
No,
cats and
you're
the
just
black.
looking at them like they don't know any better.
Well, yeah, I just look at them as like literally it's like it's their culture. It's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like when I used to look at National Geographic and I saw people with bones in their noses and their and in the their hoops and the earrings and the large holes. I said, okay, that's what they do. But then when I started seeing people do it in the States, I'm like, no, that's not what we do here. That's not. No, stop it. No, don't do that. It's just, I'm just some places I accept it, and other places it's disturbing to me.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
I'm not sure what the official name is for it, but like the nose ring that like where you have like the two balls right underneath your
Yeah.
nostrils.
Oh, the septum piercing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, when I got my nose pierced, so my nose is pierced. But when I went to get it done, they were like, "Do you want septum or your nose?" I was like, "Septum," and she was like, "Every fat guy gets a septum piercing. Don't do that." And I was
Every
like,
fat guy.
"Well, yeah. Well, I'm a big guy.
I guess it's like a bull, and that's how you lead them to the trough.
She goes, look. She goes. You're not that big. She goes, but if you get that, you will look like a cow. And I'm like, thank you. I will not do that then.
Man.
Yeah, some of them. Anytime I see people with it, I had to take a second glance because it looks like snot is hanging from their nose. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's again. I'm not crazy about those things either.
I
Again,
couldn't do that just because it's not like it's more about practicality for me.
yeah.
Like if I had to blow my nose or something like that, and I
Yeah, if you sneeze and you pitch here, it comes like shoo. Because energy takes the path of least resistance. If you clog these two holes,
here's my thing though. While I get like the septum piercing and shit and all that, it's fine and dandy, I suppose. But what's the point of genital piercings? Like you like like a Prince Albert or even like a clit piercing. Like why?
Trauma, but
okay, so that's usually my go-to answer, but like I just feel like it's so like I've learned in dating over the last few months that it's more frequent than you'd think for ladies to have all of their stuff pierced. It's wild. And it's like I don't want to suck on a nipple that tastes like a penny. Like it's weird. Like it's just weird. I don't know.
What if it's a quarter though?
I don't want to taste. I don't want to taste.
Is it the amount of change that it tastes like? Look, I mean, is a dime better?
Generally speaking, when you're tasting your woman, you don't want to taste metallic tastes. That's usually a bad sign of things to come.
Well, because blood tastes like iron.
Right. So, but then now you add that, but now like the nipples have a metallic taste and everything. Like, ugh.
Yeah, and once again, that's like practicality for me because like if I have my cock pierced, that means you're gonna have to live with that when it's soft too. And what's that gonna feel like in my pants during the day when I'm just trying to sit there and I feel like metal hitting across my leg?
Oh, going to an airport, you have a metal detector, and they're gonna let you say, "Okay, I have," because they asked me if I had any, because I have a metal knee, and they said, "Do you have any metal piercings?" Or I said, "I have a titanium knee," you know. But
Yeah, we're like,
all right. So hey, real quick,
do the time. I'll do the news.
It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to play the news for you guys. And when we come back, we're going to hang out a little bit more. And then we'll be bringing you Blazing Nana at the 15-minute mark. So
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards. China has condemned remarks by U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio concerning the 1989 Tiananmen Square crackdown. Beijing labeled Rubio's comments as an attack on China's internal affairs.
The Chinese government maintains that discussions about Tiananmen are attempts to undermine its sovereignty.
A U.S. Israeli-supported humanitarian group has temporarily halted food distribution in Gaza following deadly shootings near its aid centers.
The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation reports at least 80 Palestinians have been killed near or en route to its sites.
A Kremlin spokesperson stated that an explosion on the Kerch Strait bridge caused no damage.
Ukraine's government believes increased sanctions could pressure Russia into peace negotiations.
Air quality alerts have been issued across multiple U.S. states due to smoke from Canadian wildfires. The smoke has led to hazy skies and health advisories in affected areas.
Officials recommend that residents limit outdoor activities and use air purifiers indoors.
Well, obviously, if they put tariffs on that smoke, it would stop it at the border. That's what their problem is. They need to put tariffs on the smoke coming across the border. And here's it. China thinks that discussing, I don't think they think this, but they're saying that to discuss Tiananmen Square is to challenge their sovereignty or something. It's like they've been around for what, 5,000 years as a country? 5,000 years. And they think that, us discussing like one or two tanks running over 400 or 500 people, is going to make a difference. No, they've been around a long fucking time.
Yeah, they're just waiting to see what happens with Russia and Ukraine. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah,
because
so they know whether or not they can take over Taiwan.
Yeah. Because they were hoping that it was going to be over like 2 years ago, but doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Bill was talking about the body piercings earlier, and it says, "I have my nipples pierced, and a Pennsylvania airport metal detectors are hilarious." Well, I think they're hilarious until they turn to body searches.
That's what I call schlong division.
That's when they stop being funny. When they start turning into searches, I don't like searches. Even when I don't have anything, I don't like searches. It's just like I don't like people going through my stuff. I don't like it. Which is another reason I prefer to drive than fly. Even if I have to drive 20 hours, I'd rather drive the 20 hours than make it a 7-hour flight or 7-hour excursion to the airport. And
I fill a bag with condoms and lube and things like that.
Well, I'm just thinking about at one point not me. I would have gone. I probably would have had to have gone. But the Reverend was asked to do a show out of town, and he would have had to fly to do the show. And it was his Blessings of Blasphemy show, which is the condoms and the sex toys, the sex dolls, and the games and stuff. And how do you get that through? How do you get all that stuff through the airport without somebody wanting to see it? They're like, "Excuse me, you have a lot of metal in here. We want to X-ray this."
You just don't care. I mean, if you're taking that much stuff with you, you're like, I'm just gonna roll with this. And who really cares?
No, I don't. It's not that I care. I don't want to have to go through stuff. I don't like explaining things. Okay, I don't like explaining things. I know it sounds weird for me to say that the way I do my humor, but
dude, I purposely bring weird things through TSA, like just to see their reactions, because I can't go through the X-ray machine or whatever, so they let me through, and then they wand me and they make me like lift myself up to check my seat and shit. But yeah, I love just putting weird things. Like was it 3 years ago? I went to Spencer's and I bought like some butt plugs, and I just put different ones in different pockets of my suitcase. It's just, they were like, and I was like, everything okay? And they were like, yeah, you're good to go. I was like, thanks, because if you
Now, when you bought
it's just
when you bought these plugs at the Spencer's, did you buy like a set, or did you buy a bunch of individual ones?
No, it was a set. It was like 4 of them,
And
they
you
were
just separated them and put them in each pocket.
I
I'm
put
just
one.
curious.
I put one. I put one in my. I wrapped one in my underwear. I put one like in the front pocket. I put a couple in my, and then I put the other 2 in my toiletries bag.
What you should have done is the one that you did the underwear, attach it to the underwear, so it looks like when you put them on, it automatically goes in.
No.
Just attach
I'm
it
gonna come
to
do
the
it now.
underwear.
I've also.
Hey guys,
I've also.
I'm gonna bounce. I gotta go. I gotta go get
All right,
my
brother.
shit
Have
up.
safe trip, buddy.
Safe travels, Laura. Take care. Laura, take care of him. He's our.
Yeah, I'll
he's
see.
our
I'll
only
see you
Ron.
guys tomorrow. I'm gonna pop in when I'm driving to Cape Cod tomorrow. So I'll drop in sometime tomorrow morning.
All right, brother.
All right. Safe travels.
All right.
Take
See
care,
ya.
man.
All right, now that he's gone, what did you think of this? No, I'm just kidding. Wearing a Houston Street shirt. What the fuck is that all about? Houston Street.
What the fuck is he wearing? Jesus.
Yeah.
My goodness.
You see the way he just straddles the camera? Like, look at my junk.
I know.
Oh my God.
He was all like, look at where my kids came from.
Yeah, yeah. Look at their former home. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So in about 9 minutes, our scheduled guest is Blazing Nana, and we have a few questions for her. I have a few questions. I only watched, well, you are more familiar with it than I am, so I watched the 3 segments. It was her Kill Tony appearance, but it was in 3 segments, and the way they showed up, I saw them in reverse order. So and I watched a couple of her, because most of what I saw were her YouTube shorts. And that's how I knew that she was a conservative, because of her Trump reference to Trump. And even in the Kill Tony thing, she says, this will win you over, and she shows her NRA card. You know, it says desperate. You know, how about winning them over with good jokes?
It's not desperate. That's not desperate. That's pandering to your audience. If you're in Texas, your NRA card's guaranteed to get you some whoops. So
I've done shows in places that are like gun heavy, I will say. And one of the bits I used to do was guns are for cowards. And of course, and I was cautioned by the host that says, don't do that. I said, no, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to own it, and I'm going to finish it, and they're going to be laughing by the time I'm done. And they were, you know. So I'm not going to stand there and go, I got an NRA card. I'm like, no, guns are for pussies. And actually, I don't say pussies, cowards. I say cowards. I don't say pussies. Maybe I do say pussies. I have to look at the tape.
I like my gun.
Well, it's very simple. And my premise, if you have a gun and you're carrying it, it's because you're afraid of something. You know, that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's why I carry a gun. I'm afraid. Right. So, I'm in a wheelchair. I'm an easy target.
I understand, and I'm not. No, I'm not. Never did I say it was bad for you to carry a gun. Never did I say that you shouldn't carry a gun. I only said that if you carry a gun, you're afraid of something. That's it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Mostly black guys.
That's why you keep your distance. I noticed that when we performed together, you kept your distance from me. You wouldn't even, you'd be like, you kept making sure that Ron was between us at all times.
Well, I didn't want to get 3/5 of the respect. So but I come from a people, and this is the premise, and I can say this now because I don't actually use it in any shows. It's more like a situational thing. If I'm in a gun heavy place, and I'll bring out that kind of material. But the premise is that I come from a people who used to hunt elephants and lions and tigers with nothing more than a blow dart. Okay? Blow darts, and then they chase them around for days to see when the poisons, they go around sniffing the poop, finding out. That's it. They weren't. Look,
you think they weren't maybe afraid, but they carried blow darts, and that's why I say guns are for cowards. If you cannot hunt, with the basic materials, with your brains.
So are you saying that you're a Joe Rogan groupie then? Because
I don't
he
know who
hunts
Joe
with bows
Rogan
and
is.
arrows.
Who's Joe Rogan? Is he a
Yes,
comedian?
you do.
I do know who Joe Rogan is, but in my world, there is no Joe Rogan. In my world, he doesn't exist. Because yeah. No, I don't. First of all, I don't know where Joe Rogan stands or doesn't stand on anything, so I can't answer your question. But am I a groupie or a follower? The answer is no, because I don't have no idea where he stands, and I doubt
That's
that.
fair. Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, but I'm not going to stop talking just because Steven's not here, and I have no one to talk to. I can talk to you guys out there. Hello, audience. And so, Steve and I got Steve. Steve and I talked on the phone yesterday, so we know we were discussing. And one of the things I want to discuss and we'll discuss is the animals that have been attracted to my deck because of the cat food. And I guess we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that after. Oh, I was ready to bring her in. Nana, if you're still there, put your camera on so I know, because I was about to bring you in. I was about to introduce you. So when Nana is back, I will introduce her. Matter of fact, we'll just bring it. No, forget it. Nana, we'll bring you in at 10:15. We'll do the time. That way we don't have to stop you for the time. And so, but Stephen and I talk. Okay, and Nana's gone. So Stephen
She
and
might
I
be having trouble. She'll be back.
Right, yeah. So Stephen and I talked last night to discuss the show, and one of the things that we're going to talk about was my wife and I have a menagerie of animals that come to our deck. Well, it's not really a menagerie. It's 2 cats and 2 raccoons, maybe 3. I think it's 2 raccoons, 2 cats, and a ton of blue jays. And so I was talking to animal control. I called animal control because I wanted to get some. I don't want the animals to show up with disease, and I didn't see it coming. I wanted to know, what am I looking for? So if they start getting sick, I know what to do. I don't want them to all of a sudden be like, "Oh shit, that's rabies." I want to know, are there like telltale signs before they become full blown? Before that happens. And so I called the animal control people, and I will talk about that on the other side of Nana, because Nana's back.
Well, we have Nana, so let's
let me read the introduction. Okay, shit, what did I just do? Holy crap, I just screwed up something.
You are like Matt. You're doing really good. You got lost in everything.
Yeah, I did. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read Nana's introduction. Now, first of all, I don't know her real name, so I'm going to just call her Blazing Nana. And I'm also going to note that the picture is not her. That the picture that Matt put up is not her. It's her sister, I think, according to Steven. Here's the introduction. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, recently moved from Oakland, California to Austin, Texas to do comedy and have a better chance to get on the Kill Tony podcast. Only started doing stand-up recently, but I have been a call-in personality on a very popular and long-running 37 years morning show in San Francisco for 10 years now. So, here, the rest of the stuff I'm not going to read because we'll find out if it's true. We'll find out if all that is true. Ladies and gentlemen, Blazing Nana. Oh, I have to add her to the stage. Hello.
So
good
morning.
Do we call you? Do we call you
call
Ms.
me
Blaze?
Nana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blazing is what I do. Nana is who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Well, some people blazing is who they are, and Nana is what they do.
No.
That's true.
It's true. It makes good sense. But yeah, you can call me Nana. My name is Michelle Gay Hewitt, and people pronounce my name wrong. So I have been using the stage name for 13 years now.
That's awesome.
But that 13 years is okay. I have 2 questions because you said you started doing stand-up recently. What's recently?
Pardon me. Sorry, I just smoked before I got on here. I I did stand up a little bit before the pandemic, and then I got a gum infection. I had to get the rest of my teeth pulled and get dentures. And then I started doing stand up again probably about 8 months ago, but I've been writing for a long time. There is a show in San Francisco, the Lamont and Tonelli show. They have been on the air for 37 years now. I am part of that show. I've been a call-in personality the last 10 years.
Okay, what does the call-in personality do?
It means I call in 4 or 5 times a week and I talk shit on the radio. They have an open forum called the Lick Me Wall. You can call them with a good lick me. I have a good lick me for the weather this weekend. It's going to be off the charts. Talk, talk, talk. Or I got a bad lick me for my neighbor. These cock smokers, well, I can't say that on the air, but I can say it with you guys. These cock smokers kept me up all night. You know what I mean? They'll bleep you out. And I'm like, everybody in the San Francisco Bay Area that listens to this morning show knows who Blaze and Nana is. I have been here in Austin and met people, and they said, hey, man, you look familiar. I go, yeah, I just moved here from Oakland. You don't know me. Oakland, really? Yeah, I'm from San Jose. Really, have you ever listened to KSAN 107.7 The Bone? They're like, yeah. I go, I'm Blaze and Nana. Oh, my God, from Lamont and Tonelli. And they know me because I know that you put a little question mark because you didn't know who I am.
Actually, no, that's not what the question mark is for. I put the question mark after comedian because half the times when someone comes on the show and they say they're a comedian, I want the audience to decide if they actually were a comedian.
I got you. Well,
if they're an author, they have a book. There's a book. They're an author. Even if it's, I don't know if it's a good book or a bad book, there's a book. We can say author.
Well, I have videos of me all over the internet. While I was not up performing, I had all my teeth pulled. I was doing jokes on TikTok. I was writing and doing 1 and 3 minute bits on TikTok with no teeth. You know what I mean? To keep myself sharp because I didn't want to go out and do open mics because I had stitches in my mouth from getting my teeth. I had teeth that were broke off at the gum line. It was a bad situation. So now look at these things are beautiful, baby.
Okay, now I'm gonna.
They are nice. They are nice.
We can talk teeth because when I was younger, my brother taught me how to roller skate, but did not teach me how to stop.
Oh,
and so I had some really messed up teeth from an incident where I was kissing the concrete. Probably French kissing because my mouth was open.
Oh, baby, God.
Yeah, so I went through puberty. I went through adulthood. I was in my 40s when I got my teeth fixed. It cost me like $10,000 to get them fixed.
And don't you feel empowered now?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, I would not have done comedy if my teeth weren't fixed.
Right.
And even then, I used to play in a band, and it was when I was a front man, I would sing with the mic like this, so that nobody saw my mouth. Right, nobody saw my mouth.
See, I angled my camera so you couldn't see. I get it. I did the catfish angle with the camera.
Yeah. See, I got lucky, man. Like in my family in general, teeth are bad, right? Like my brother is 26 years old. He has dentures. My uncle, my dad, my aunt, everyone in my family has dentures. And it's not because they don't take care of their teeth. They just genetically just have really shitty oral hygiene, like just their mouths suck, right? And I am the only one in my family who has all of my teeth.
Just for the record, mouth is the only part of the body that can suck. I
disagree.
That's not true.
Okay,
I also disagree.
Yeah,
you ever boot
the Jack Daniels?
Huh? No, I'm saying no.
You ever boot the Jack Daniels, man? Spicy.
There are Kegel exercises. I guess there are Kegel exercises.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true sucking because that means like breathing in oxygen, and I think it's more like negative.
Have you? Okay. I don't want to be super gross, but have you seen the videos of the chicks that can like queef on command when they suck the air in? Like
they suck the air in.
Yeah, but they're not breathing. Yeah. That's more.
Well, there is scientific proof that if you're stuck in your waist up in mud, your butthole will breathe for you. Your body will try and breathe. So there is.
No, it will try and breathe, but that's not. Right. I don't think that's your butt. I don't think your butt is trying to take up the job that your lungs do. I think that's your butt saying we're in deep shit. And I know what this is. Maybe I can take some of this in and give us some headroom. Maybe So it's not trying to breathe. It's just trying to give you room to breathe. It's just trying to get rid of. It's like, I know what to do with this. I see this stuff. I handle this all the time. This is my job. Let me do my job. So that's what that is.
Hold on. My little dog wants to be. She knows we're making movies. Come here. Back up. I don't want to move.
Okay.
I didn't realize this is Onyx.
What kind of dog is Onyx besides black?
I'm sorry.
Don't show that dog to Steven. You'll trigger him. He'll pull his gun out.
She is a Chihuahua Scottish Terrier Cairn Terrier mix.
Wow.
And her name is Onyx, and she weighs 12 pounds, and she's the little wonder dog. I can't even see. Can you guys see her?
Well, you can lift her. You don't have to tilt the camera, right? Just hold her up. Yeah,
look at that sweet face. Who's a good girl? Her name is Onyx Grace. Her name is Onyx Grace, OG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adorable.
She is. You know, I got to tell you something. Me and my first husband got married when I was 16.
Is this the dead one?
Yes. He was 16. I was 20. Or no, I was 16. He was 20. God dang, I'm high. And we got divorced before I was 25 years old, right? We were young, stupid. So
so he's dead, but that's not the reason you're a widow then. If you were divorced.
Yes, it is, because we were going to get remarried.
Oh, okay.
And 2 weeks before our wedding date, he died. And he was my first love, my first husband. So I consider myself a widow. And I have his name or his initials tattooed on my arm, his birth date and death date. He was my best friend. We were just stupid kids when we got married. So I consider myself a widow because of him.
Did you remarry?
No, we had our wedding. I got a copy of our.
Did you marry your second husband? Because when you said did you ever get married again?
I did. I got married. I have 2 children with my first husband. Then I have 2 children with my second husband. And all my kids are grown. My youngest boy will be 27 in a couple weeks. My oldest boy will be 43 in December. So I have 2 kids, 9 years, and then 2 kids.
Now that's interesting, but I would.
Oh, go ahead, Stephen. No, I'll go. You go next. I'll go. No, because I don't want this moment to pass too far. She mentioned the tattoo on her wrist of her first husband, of her first husband, and I was just wondering, did that tattoo ever become a sticking point for anyone you dated after that?
I have really not dated anyone after that.
You married 2 other people without dating? Or you did?
No.
You got the tattoo?
Okay. I got the tattoo when he died. He died September 19th, 2021. So I got this tattoo after he passed. These are his initials that he carved into a rock up in Blowing Rock. It's a place we used to go to up in the Appalachian Mountains and hang out. So Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm high. But my son took a picture. Blue Ridge is part of the
Appalachian. They're part of
but this was Blowing Rock. This was his favorite place to go. It's called Blowing Rock. You could take your hat and throw it off, and the wind would catch it and blow it back up to you. So that was our favorite place to go.
I thought Blowing Rock was kind of like what you were saying. People were smoking cock in San Francisco, which I don't even know how you do that. I'm still.
I don't know, but I want to try. I want to throw my dick off a cliff and see if it gets blown back.
No, you throw your hat.
Nana,
yeah.
Oh, my hat. Okay, I thought I was going to throw something else. But, Nana, now, I saw you on Kill Tony.
Yeah.
And before we get into that whole thing, I want to know why you beat up a homeless guy for your dog.
I did not beat up a homeless guy for my dog. I never said those words. This little dog was in a cage, okay? And this guy was feeding her French fries. I said, what's going on with that dog? He said, listen, my friend asked me to watch this dog for a few minutes. It's been 3 days. I can't feed myself, let alone this dog. I said, hey, how about I give you a little bit of money for that dog, and I'll foster it, and I'll find it a place to live. He said, well, that's okay. Awesome. The guy was homeless. He needed the money, right? And I had collected $125 on my birthday. And I got this. I paid $125 for her. I'd have paid $1 million if I had it. I love this little dog. And I did not steal a homeless guy's dog. I did not beat up anybody for a dog. I want to make the record clear. I got this dog to save this dog and foster her and find her a home, and then I fell in love with her, and she became mine.
Okay,
So
so
let's
you heard
set
it here
that record
first.
straight.
She bought a stolen dog and fell in love
I
with
bought a
it.
babysitting dog. He was watching the dog. Dude disappeared in San Francisco
No,
and Bay Area. You don't know when the homeless are coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
no, I
guy
feel
could
that.
have fucking got on a bus and went to Cleveland for all we know. I saved this little dog's life and she saved mine, and I love her more than anything. I'll
No,
stab
that's
a
beautiful.
motherfucker for this dog.
I had to pick at you a little bit.
I was going through Reddit and it said, I really liked her until I found out she beat someone up for that dog.
No.
I'm like, what are they talking about?
Now, Nana,
Good
I
girl.
came across another thing on Reddit, on one of the Kill
Yeah.
Tony Reddits,
Yeah.
that said you farted and crop dusted the front row.
No, when Tony First of all, I had my gas like in my fanny pack. I showed the whole world. No,
I know, we saw it. We saw it.
I dropped the little book. Okay, he tossed me the book. I dropped it. I had a microphone. These titties are in the way, you know. So I bent over to get it, and my ass was in everyone's face. And I looked and I go, "You're welcome." Because can I tell you guys something too?
Sure.
I was so frigging elevated for that show. First off, we're out there sweating. It's hot as a balls over in Austin with the humidity, okay? It's hard to look beautiful and clean and everything. So I'm sweating like a hooker in church. And then one of my friends says, here, I made this brownie for you. It's magically delicious. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to try this. I ate the whole thing, not realizing I should have only ate half. And it kicked in 5 minutes before my name was called. And I was higher than two people should be. And I was like, so anyway, when I'm sitting there next to the stage, the guy comes out. We're all watching the episode on the screen that's being aired on YouTube. Okay. So we're all sitting there watching. Dude comes out. He goes, tap, tap, tap. And I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. He's there every week, but I do have a brain injury. And he says, okay. And I said, Blazing Nana. The same time he said, Blazing Nana, you're up on Kill Tony. And I go, oh my God, was that me or was that him? And then everyone looked at me and said, Nana, Nana. And I was like, holy shit. So, and I'm trying to push the high down. I'm trying to push the high down because this is your chance. God, I'm so glad you guys, I didn't go out and look and see who was sitting next to me. I went out and right in the front was my friend Del Stoner. Hell yeah, Del. Okay, Del Stoner and his old lady were sitting right in the front. I focused everything on them. I was doing my bit for them and making them laugh. Okay. So it got the nervousness away. There's a lot of people in there. And everyone says, oh, when you get up on the Kill Tony stage, you can't see no when the lights are in your eyes. Motherfuckers, I'm 5'7.5". Okay. I could see everybody up around the balcony. Oh my God. It was kind of nerve-wracking. So anyway, when I got done with my set, I was trying to time it just right so the would come after the kitty cat. I was close. I almost had it perfect, but I didn't expect a laugh or a spot after I said something because you try to write that shit so you can get it. You want a minute, okay, or right under a minute. But when I looked over and saw it was Jimmy Carr, I'm not gonna lie, my knees kind of went wiggly. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who Jimmy Carr is, so which one was
Jimmy
that?
Carr is a British comedian that is got
Okay,
that.
that's the one who made that's the one that said you gave him whiskey hole.
I gave him whiskey hole. Oh my God. So funny. The callbacks were so fucking funny, you guys.
Yeah, I could tell from his face he was holding on to that comment for a while. Soon as you said you didn't have a navel, I looked at his face and I could tell he was waiting to say something.
He was waiting. I want to tell you something too. A few people commented, you left Jimmy Carr speechless. That's almost unheard of because a couple times he didn't know what the fuck to say.
Yeah.
Well, I think he knew what he was.
GD.
Oh, yeah.
So Jimmy Carr is would be who'd be a good American comparison that I think GD might know. He's
Bill
one of those
Burr.
Guys that will just say anything. Yeah, he's one of those guys that nothing's off the table. He doesn't care how brash it sounds, how mean it sounds. If it's funny, he's gonna say it. He wears a suit. He's well put together. He's well spoken, and he's so good, dude. Jimmy Carr's
loves the word cunt, and that's one of my favorite words in the whole world.
Oh man,
Well, yeah, that's a British. That is a British thing. That is a
It's
British
a term of endearment.
Well,
over
see,
there.
I'm a slut. I'm a slut for accents, and so Jimmy Carr's accent gets me hard immediately. But then when he starts saying like cunt and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh, Jimmy, stop, cut it out. I can only get so hard.
Just so you know, in about 1 minute, we're going to have to do the time. We don't mean to cut you off, but
that's okay.
We've made it. We're also on terrestrial radio today, and so.
Oh, hi, terrestrial radio.
Yeah, so we're on the real radio and the internet, and it's 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're talking to Blazing Nana as seen on Kill Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can follow me blazing.nana blazing.nana on Instagram, and then you can find me all over the place because I was the only person on the Kill Tony show that night that was not featured with a photograph of me holding my book and my Instagram
Bullshit.
tag, because everyone's like, Nana, get ready for that pop, get ready for that pop. I didn't get a pop. I got like 500 followers on Instagram where people are like, you're gonna get thousands of people, but my picture wasn't there holding my little book, and neither was my tag. So I actually sent the photographer a message and said, hey, was this an oversight? Was the picture so bad you didn't want to post it? Let me know, because that was, everyone's like, how come your name wasn't listed as a guest on the show that night? You were the funniest bucket pool. We thought blah 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 whatever. I thought JJ was the funniest when he said he was a 40. I call him a $40 holler now. God, he's so funny. But anyway, people brought it to my attention. How come your picture's not there? You could use that as your profile picture. I'm like, I don't know. So I went through the multiple posts for that particular podcast, and I'm in none of them. So I don't know.
Now I have maybe it was maybe they didn't put your picture in because of the whole diversity thing. Everybody's trying to get rid of diversity.
But they put the picture up of the guy that talked about suicide, which gave a warning. Have you ever had to see a warning before a Kill Tony podcast?
I've never watched a Kill Tony podcast, but I've gotten many of those warnings on my shows. Even because I'm not pro suicide, I'm not against it. I'm not for it or against it. But but there's a show where I produce it for Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, and the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll talks about somebody when he does the obituaries. If he talks about someone who dies in a suicide, or he will mention the suicide hotline.
Right.
And then YouTube will add the warning, suicide, blah 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 blah.
See,
blah,
that's
blah,
crazy. Blah, blah. But I saw a guy using that stuff for your legs that take Nair. He showed an up close video of getting Nair all over his twig and berries in the bunker out back, and showed it live. But we can air that with no warning that you're seeing a man's genitals and his beehole. But they're going to say when someone tries to help people, hey man, if you have a problem, call this number 811, I think it is, and they put a warning on that. That's not right.
They took down a picture I had. I did a meme. Are you familiar with the carnivals where they have the clowns and you're shooting a water gun into the clown's mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I did take my version of that, but instead of clowns, I had a bunch of prosthetic butts. Okay. and I can't remember the caption anymore because it was a while ago. But they took it down and they said this violates. I said, but these aren't real asses. These are prosthetic butts. There's no hole.
They're pretend. They're made
real,
out
not
of
even real butts, and you're shooting a water gun at them. It's not, and I mean, my original version, I had penises shooting at them, but I decided that might get flagged, so I got water guns shooting.
Right.
And but that same video, the same day, I got shown a video of a woman giving a guy head on the same channel.
Yeah.
But you don't see his head. You just see the shaft. So it's like.
So that doesn't count.
Yeah,
but you can't show a.
That's like a boob without a nipple. That's like a boob without a nipple.
That's
it's okay.
like a belly without a belly button. Dun, dun, dun. No.
You just gave me whiskey.
That's a callback.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
whiskey
so
hole.
funny.
I used that at the bar yesterday.
That,
I don't
but
got
see
beer
here,
goggles.
I
I got
would call
whiskey hole. I
whiskey
gotta go
hole. I
home.
would. Here's what I would call whiskey hole. I know Juanita, bless her. She said it was for her beehole. I would call whiskey hole this. It's like when you drink a lot and you're giving a blowjob and you get lockjaw and you're like, that's whiskey hole to me.
Now, my
you know what? You know when I think of whiskey hole, I think of like when when I'm drunk and I come home and then like my lady's like, "Ooh yeah, let's fuck around," but I've been drinking, so now I'm like real gassy. You know, so you're like mid pump and you're like, "Oh God, sorry," and then it just ruins the whole mood.
Now I'm going to bring this conversation down.
You don't know if you can keep going or if you can laugh or like what you can do. You're like, do I stop? Was this funny? I got to fart again. I don't know what to do. It's terrible. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bring the intellectual level. I'm going to bring the intellectual conversation down.
Come on, JD, bring it.
I'm bringing down. Because you recently started comedy. I started comedy when I was 55.
Right.
So when you so
respect.
First of all, at the age, when you I'm not gonna ask you your age. That's nobody's.
I'll tell you, I'm 58 years old.
So
I'm 58 years old.
So you started comedy. You said you started it the first time during COVID, which would be
right before COVID. So that was 5 years ago. So I would have been 53 at that time.
Okay. Now,
for those on the radio, Evil Ian has said GD is famous for something called anti-comedy, where he's not funny, but it's on purpose.
Thank you, Ian.
Bless your heart, honey.
Thank you, Ian. You've explained my whole career in one sentence. Thank you. So, since you started at a later age than most comedians do, because for the most part, comedy is, I don't want to call it a young person's game because, to be honest, I don't think young people are interesting enough. Because when they start out, most of it's just my dick, my pussy, my dick, my pussy.
Right. It's dick and fart jokes.
But that's all it is. It's in my mind. And then it's masturbation and stuff like that. And in my mind, they don't have anything interesting to say yet.
Right.
Now, starting later, you have a little bit more interesting things to say, but it's kind of stacked against you. So being older, but also being a woman, which is also another hurdle in comedy.
Yeah.
How are you navigating that, or are you even experiencing it in Texas?
Here's my thing. I think that everybody that wants to do something, if they put their mind to it, they can do it. But I noticed that some of the places I go to when I hit the mics, when I sign up, I'm really way up there on the list, but I end up going up way down here on the list because their buddies come in or other men come in and they bump me down. It doesn't matter. I still get my stage time. I did 5 minutes last night at a new mic over at, it's called the Puff Puff Pass the Mic. And Luis Cervantes, I think that's how you say his name, as a guy from the Bay Area also, and he told me about it's a new mic. This guy gives stage time, and it's a beautiful venue to do mics in. But I noticed that a lot of guys bail after they do their set. Where the female comedians will sit here and we'll finish watching.
Yeah, we all experience that. Most comedians are just fucking selfish.
I refuse.
Anyway.
I refuse to go to a mic or anything and not sit through the show as a common courtesy and respect.
It's respect to the other comedians that are going up last, who've been sitting there for 2 hours trying to remember what they have to say.
Especially when you have people there that are in it for the right reasons and they're in it because they want to do it for real. And now because of just their shitty spot in line, they now have an empty room to perform to. It's like, no, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to be there for them, even if they suck, because it's just a common courtesy thing. Nobody wants to perform to an empty room.
I think that that the word selfishness is the best thing. But this room was great because we could sit there and partake in goddess grass and enjoy ourselves while we were watching the other comedians. It was a good venue. I liked it. But again, there was only 2 females there for an open mic. And girls, if you want to do comedy, get your asses out there, cut your fucking teeth on some mics. I would do a mic every single day if I had a car. I got to depend on, I sold my car to move to Austin to pursue comedy
so you
full
sold
time.
your car to rescue a dog, and now the dog is not taking you to the mics. I know.
Listen, I got a stroller for this little dog and a papoose. I'll take her to the mics with me, okay? Because it's air conditioned where we do most of our mics. I'm good with that. I'll take this little dog anywhere. She is, like I said, 12 pounds. I can stick her in my purse. Shit, I can put her in my cleavage when she was a puppy.
Yeah, but then where would you put your phone if you put her in your cleavage? That's where, isn't that where you carry your phone in your
No.
She has a fanny pack for the phone.
I have a fanny pack.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had that thing loaded. I knew what I was doing. I was nervous, but I told Jimmy
That
Carr,
was one of
this
my
is what we
favorite.
do.
That was one of my favorite things when you said this is what we do, because even Tony was like this is something we've done before, and it's like, well,
Yeah,
it is
like
now.
she's a regular on the show, but it is something we do. It's called What's in That Fanny Pack? Not we, but the show itself. And so usually when someone has on a fanny pack, they say, hey, what's in your fanny pack? And this time I said, hey, Tony, aren't you going to ask me what's in my fanny pack? I wore this just for you, And I had my Buck ID. I am a graduate from the Ohio State University, OHIO.
Oh, wait.
And so I was really proud of that. And the crowd kind of turned when Tony was proud of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And then Red Band Brian was playing the song. I said, I can get him back. And I pulled out my NRA card. I'm like, and everyone's like, yay. So I knew what I was doing. I had that thing stacked, so it was a good experience. If you can get into Austin, I want to tell you something. It's a long line, but it's a long wait. It's a good time.
It's something it's definitely on my list. I definitely want to go visit. I want to visit the spots in the U.S. where it's happening. I want to go to L.A. and hit some of the the namesake clubs. I want to go to New York. I want to go to New York and hit some of the namesake clubs. I want to go to Nashville and hit some of the clubs. I want to go to Austin, and hit the Strip and just hit as many mics as I can.
Can I tell you why I moved to Austin? This is why I moved to Austin. Like you said, GD.
A parole violation, but go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you. We're older, okay? I am not built to go lay over on someone's couch and go do mics for $10 and $8 and a taco and a free drink. I'm not built for that, okay? I'm too old for that game. If I'd have done that when I was 20, it'd be a different story. I'm 58. I love Austin because I can do a mic, like I said, every day of the week, 3 or 4 times a day if I want to. All right. And I've been booked since I did I did an appearance at the Mothership in the Little Boy. Before you sign up for Kill Tony, there's a first line. You get 3 minutes to go in front of a sold out crowd every week of people that want to see open micers and laugh. You get 3 minutes. I got pulled for that. I did okay. I was nervous. It was a great experience. Okay. I've been booked on 2 different shows. I love it. I did the Comedy Cowboys, and then I did something that didn't have a title, but it was at the tiniest bar in Austin. So I'm enjoying going out and doing this stuff. I love comedy. But like I said, the main reason I moved here is because I just want to be an Austin comic or a Texan comic. Maybe when I go to Cleveland, see if I can get a guest spot somewhere. Maybe like when I first moved here, I had a guest spot with the great John Reap, the Carolina Reaper from Hickory, North Carolina. And we didn't sell enough tickets and the show got canceled. But I had I was going to do a spot with him.
Yeah, the only reason why I know who he is because TikTok does this thing. Well, the algorithms do these things where because I was researching you, when I stopped researching you, the next thing they fed me was him. And I'm going like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm listening to him and I'm like, and he's talking, he was just talking, promoting a show that was coming up. I'm like, okay, next. Because I see so many, be honest, I don't know who most comedians are. I don't care who most comedians are. If I see something that's funny, I like it. If not, I don't. No big deal. And I don't remember most people's names, and that's fine because they don't know who I am either. So it's tit for tat. They want me to remember their name, say my name.
Right.
But when you left Cleveland, well, have you been back to Cleveland to do comedy? Because it says you hail from Cleveland.
I hail from Cleveland. No, I go back once a year to spend Halloween with my family. Me and my sister Gina. She's my first friend, my best friend. We spend Halloween and the end of October together. I have not done anything there except for when I was at OSU when I would introduce. I was in an Afro pop ensemble when I was in college. We played real African pop music. I learned how to play a bunch of different instruments by ear, and I would grab the mic sometimes when people were running late and tell jokes. But that was about it. I've introduced bands. There's a band called Huma Kavula that I've done an opening joke for them. Randy Markham and the boys had a going away party for me, and I got to do a bit during their set. So, I mean, but I don't have any experience in Cleveland except for sitting in the seats and watching other comedians. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to do something to help your career.
Okay.
If you ever get a chance to perform at Crackpots, do not mention my name.
Okay, GD, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's a heads up. Let me tell you guys a little something that I wasn't told.
Before you do that, it's 10:45 Eastern Standard Time, and we are talking to Blazing Nana. For those of you listening on the radio, wherever you might be, back to you, Nana. Go ahead.
Okay. If you're a comedian and you sign up to go on The Little Boy in the Comedy Mothership before you sign up to go on Kill Tony, and they pull your name, when you get up there, you get 3 minutes. Don't go over that 3 minutes. Go 2.58. Right. Don't go. No one told me this. I did 3 minutes and like 2 seconds. And I got the but no one had warned me. So I'm going to tell everybody else what no one told me. If you get pulled for that little boy, go right under 3 minutes, because that's what they want to see, that you're time managing, whatever.
Yeah,
so,
I started in Florida.
Yeah.
And there was the club where I don't know what it's called now. I did a comedy boot camp, which got me into doing comedy. And that club, in order for you to be there, they had an open mic that they sponsored. It was right. And the guy who ran it had like good influence with the bookers, and they start you off with 3 minutes. And then when they feel good, when they think you've done a good 3, then they give you a 4. When they give you 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 7. Once you get 7, then they'll start looking at you for maybe doing spots at the club.
Right.
And I just started, and I signed up for 3 minutes. And when they saw my name and went, wait a second, we kind of know who you are. We're going to give you 4 minutes to start. I'm okay, fine. So nice. I wrote it. So I did. I wrote a minute. I wrote it, and I timed out the laughter, and so I timed it so that it would end with the laughter. With my anticipated laughter, it should end at 3:50, which gives me an extra 10 seconds for extra laughter that I don't know about. Because sometimes people laugh at a setup and not the punchline. You know, they just laugh at things that you went, I didn't count on that.
Yeah.
So I did. I rehearsed it. 3:50. I get there, and then the guy sees me, and he goes, do you want to do 5 minutes? We know who you are. And I went, and I didn't rehearse the 5, and I didn't want to risk it. So I said, no, I'll just take the 4. I'll just take the 4.
Good for you. And giving this time back to the stage. Heck yeah.
Right. And I said, I'll just do the 4. That's it. Because I didn't want to risk going over. Because again, my assumption, I was new to comedy. Now, I wasn't new to performing.
Right.
I used to play in a band. I played in a band for years. I was a stripper. And
Good for you.
I was a minister.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, so there was. Now I know what "bless your heart" means. You stop that.
Okay. No, bless your heart for me.
I know what that means. No, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Bless your heart right back. Bless your heart right back. Okay.
No, I mean it in a good way. I'm from Cleveland. No, I'm from Cleveland.
You know what that means.
I'm from Cleveland. Bless your heart to me means to bless your heart. Bless you.
No, I know. I know.
No, that's bless your heart.
Listen,
that's when it's different.
Bless your heart when it means fuck you. That you got to be from the South for that. You got to be from Tennessee.
I don't know what she's adopted from Texas. I don't know.
That's true.
All right, I'll just do bless you then, GD. Bless you.
You wouldn't do that if you knew what my church was like.
I belong.
There's a reason I'm not a minister anymore. There's a reason I'm not a minister anymore.
Yeah, he showed up and they were all on their knees with their tongues out, waiting for the fucking crackers and wine, and he was like, "No, I was a stripper before this."
That's right. I gave them communion. That's right.
Communion. Let me bless you with this hammer right quick.
let my rod and my staff comfort thee. So
on Ash Wednesday, you leave mushroom stamps on foreheads instead of ashes.
And so there's a reason I'm not a minister anymore. So
I got you.
Bless your heart. I know what that means. Yeah.
No.
But I mentioned because just because people are new to comedy doesn't mean they're new to entertainment or to entertaining.
Right.
When I played in the band, we had this one song. It was called It was called Hey Chubby, and it was written by the keyboard player because he used to work at a pizza place, and there would be these people who were obese, and they would order all of this food, all of this fattening food, and a Diet Coke, as if like the carbon offset it. It was like a carbon offsetting. I'm going to pollute all this, but here's my carbon offset. And so they eat all this pizza and all this fatty food and then order a Diet Coke. And so he wrote this song called Hey Chubby about that experience. And in the middle of Hey Chubby, instead of a guitar solo, I told fat jokes instead of doing a guitar solo.
Oh, that's
I wrote fat jokes. I wrote 2 minutes, 2 minutes of fat jokes to tell instead of a guitar solo. I will do a riff. I was then I tell a joke, a fat joke, and then I go and then tell another fat joke, and for 2 minutes.
That's hilarious.
Now I don't know why our band didn't become more popular.
Fat bitches are terrible. That's why.
But the jokes are good. Okay.
Hell yeah.
My drummer said, as a guitarist, you suck, but you are funny. So I didn't suck as a guitar player. I didn't suck. I just wasn't what he thought a guitar player should be. Same thing with my humor. I'm not a comedian. I'm a humorist.
See, that's cool. I like that.
GD was the first person I've ever seen live that did music and comedy together. We performed at Gov's on Long Island together, and I just love the mix of music and comedy. I've never experienced it in person before until I saw him, and he's awesome. So good.
Well, depending on who you ask, I'm okay.
If you're blind, you don't like him.
Look, I know that not everybody likes what I do. Okay, if everybody likes what I do, I'd be famous, plain and simple.
But you like what you do. Do you like what you do? That's exactly all that fucking matters.
I am my favorite. I am my favorite comedian because I do what I like to see and hear.
That's right.
I'm not the best comedian. I have my opinions who the best comedians are, and that's the other thing because I don't like mentioning who I open for or who I perform with because I learned sometimes bookers don't like the comedian that you said to use as a reference, which is why I said to you. When you go to Crackpots, even though the audiences loved me, the booker does not like me. Do not mention my name to Crack. I can't remember his name now, but you're the booker at Crackpots in Cleveland.
Yeah.
His name is I can't remember his name, but
I'm pretty sure that's the guy that bought Fort Wayne Comedy Club.
The same guy?
He had like a white ponytail with glasses,
little stub.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure him and one other guy who came and because he advertises for Crackpots all the time when he's advertising for Fort Wayne. So I think that's the same guy.
That glare, you guys. Sorry about that.
I headlined for him 3 nights in a row, and I record all my sets, and I had my camera right behind him and his girlfriend. I don't know what their relationship is now, but it's the girlfriend then. And I headlined from 3 nights in a row. And each night I had something. Each show was different. I mean, I had the same opening because that's my comfort zone.
Right.
That's to get my first.
That takes you to the zone. Comfort takes you to your zone.
Right. Because I'm nervous. I'm always terrified when I get on stage, and so that well-rehearsed first minute or so
kind of gets rid of all the jitters. So
Yes.
for all 3 shows, that was the same. My middle is all different, because I have hours. I have hours and hours of material. So the middle of every last one of them, and he's like, the audience is cracking up. He's cracking up, and then he stops laughing and goes, I have never seen this material before. And by that time, I headlined for him 5 different times.
Right.
And then it just dawned on him that he'd never seen me do the same show twice. And that night, later, or the next day, we talked on the phone about booking something together, producing a show together in Maryland. He wanted to get into Maryland, and I was producing shows in Maryland. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I will do the legwork. You can have top billing, and produced by, whatever it was, FNP Productions and So GD Funny. Well, you can have top billing. We differed over the comedian that he wanted to use, one of the comedians. And it's a comedian that whenever he's on the show with me, he does terrible because he's always looking at me and trying, and then he tries too hard, and he gets out of his
trying to get your approval.
Right, and he messes up every single time, and everybody, and people say, but he's funny. I said, not when I'm in the room.
Yeah.
If I leave the room, if he doesn't see me, he's better. But if he knows I'm there, he tries too hard to impress me, and he screws up. So I said, I don't want him on the thing. If he can't ignore me, I'm not a god. I'm not anybody special. If he can't ignore me and do his thing, then I don't want him on the show.
Right.
So guess what? He got booked and I got bumped.
Dang.
He and I have never. His name is Craig something. We have not. He stopped returning my calls, my texts, my emails. And so I said, okay, fine, whatever it is, that's it. No.
Wow.
Did he respond to the dick pics you sent him?
Well, he responded to the dick pics, but only because the first time he saw it, I was circumcised. He didn't realize that I wasn't circumcised, and he didn't realize I had gotten circumcised since then.
Well, you never do the same thing twice, so I'm sure the second one was uncircumcised.
The first one was uncircumcised, and then I got circumcised at 50. So,
man.
Yeah, then he goes like, I don't know this dick.
I don't know this.
It's mine. It's mine. It's just it's some son's skin.
Surprise. Whose dick is this? Guess that dick.
That's right. It's like,
you know what?
Send him a text and said,
you know what you should have done?
Your dick, who this?
GD, you should have just sent him your foreskin.
Oh, God.
Are you kidding? That's bacon, baby.
That's bacon, bitch.
Fry that up
in some grease.
That's how you fry it up, crunch it up, sprinkle it over a salad.
Bill Rhodes wants to know, did you let the doctor keep the tip?
Ooh.
No, it was part of, the tip was included in the copay.
The tip was included in the copay. Oh, man.
See, it's redneck calamari.
And thank you for laughing, Nana. I'm sure that there's some
I
people
have
out there
3 sons and 3 grandsons. I know all about circumcisions and all that stuff. My dad
you did them yourself?
No. But I did for my son Joshua. I was nursing him when the doctor snipped it. I was holding him, and he said that baby won't lay still. We can't circumcise him. You hold him, and I was nursing him, holding him like a football. And the doctor said, snip. Put a little cap on there, and he was done.
And did he give it to you as a souvenir? No.
No, but the cap actually grew off after a couple weeks, because his little body was growing. And I had that cap for years. I saved it in a little Ziploc bag. I said, your wiener used to be this little. Sorry, Josh. Love you, son.
Now I'm going to ask you this because your children are grown.
Okay.
At one point, because at some point children become embarrassed to be hugged by their parents in public, or to be how old were they when they became embarrassed to be seen with you in public? Or be shown affection by you in public.
I can tell you that I used to weigh 444 pounds. My kids were picked on because of their fat mama, so they were very close to me. And I also used to have a motorcycle, so I would throw my kids on the back of my motorcycle and drive them to school, and they were never embarrassed to be with their mama. Now, when my son Joshua was like 15 or 16, some guy hollered at me and said, Lord, look at that ornery redhead. And my son said, that's my mother. And, so I got my kids, I'm close to 3 of my 4 children My one son and I don't know why. He just he has issues with me. I told him I'll be your bad guy.
Where is he in the pecking order?
He's second oldest.
Okay.
So he just turned 38. He just turned 38 in May. His birthday is 1987. So he just turned 38 May 12th. And he lives with or near my sister-in-law in Tennessee. I have a son in Ohio. I have a son in West Virginia, and I have a daughter in West Virginia. Two of my grandsons are in Ohio. One grandson is in West Virginia, and I have another grandbaby on the way. My daughter Miranda is pregnant with her second child.
Congrats!
Now,
thank you.
My stepdaughter from my first marriage, she wanted a second puppy, and I said no, we're not getting a second dog. And her mother brought one home anyway. And she brought it home, and she brought it home, and she called her daughter, like I said, my stepdaughter. And I only mention this, I say it like this because I viewed her during the whole duration of the marriage as my kid.
Right.
But once we got divorced, I had no rights, which is why I say stepdaughter. You know, I no visitation rights, whatever, because I was never allowed to adopt her. But so she brings this puppy home, knowing that I already said, no, we're not having it. And she calls her daughter down and lets her play with the dog. And she goes, can I keep it? And she goes, ask your dad. and so I came down and I went, no. I said no, and I meant no.
Right.
And oh man. And then her mother looked at me and I said, look, you brought the dog in the house. You knew what I was going to say. I said, when have I ever changed my mind about something like that?
Right.
I said, I gave you my reasons. The reasons have not changed. So why would I change my mind?
Right.
And so she goes, I don't know what to do with the dog. I said, whatever you did with it before you got brought it here, take it back.
Right. Take it back. That's undermining your authority, and that is not good co-parenting.
So
not only is that undermining his authority, but it's also 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back to you, John.
So
he is on top of his game today.
He is.
Good
I
job,
gotta give it to
Steven.
him. So and this is the first time we've had to do this. We're not pros at the terrestrial radio thing. This is so. The next day, actually for the next few days, she wasn't speaking to me. So I opened the door and I walk in and I said, and she just not. I said, you're still not speaking to me. I said, here's the deal. I said, I want you. Yes, Stephen. Even back then, I said, here's the deal. I said, here's the deal.
That's a nickel.
I said, I want you to understand something. What happened downstairs with the dog was avoidable.
Right.
And unfortunately, it happened, but that's okay. I've never lied to you. If I've said yes to you, I followed through. If I said no to you, I followed through. And if I said maybe, we worked it out. I have not changed. And I said, now here, I said, so I want you to understand, I know you're mad at me. I still love you. I will always love you. I said, and you hate me right now. I understand that, and I can live with that. And if you wind up in therapy,
keep talking.
And if you wind up in therapy because of this, that's fine. But I want you to know there are people in therapy for a lot worse things than not getting
not getting a dog.
I said, if you hate me for the rest of your life, I can live with that because I know I raised you right. And if I'm raising you right, you hate me, that's fine.
Right.
I can live with that.
Yep.
And she hasn't talked to me since she was 18.
See, I'm terrible with that, dude. Like, I'm terrible with that. Like with my most recent ex-wife, I got a dog because I was put on disability and I was stuck at home by myself all day. And I was like, well, I want a dog. So I got a dog. And then I went out of town for a comedy gig and I come back and we have a second dog. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, well, we can't get rid of the second dog. This dog's so cute. And then I disappeared for a weekend, come home, and we had a rabbit. And I was like, it's so cute. We can't get rid of it, but we can eat it if things go bad. And then
if we can't afford to feed the dog,
and then we got
Hoss and Pepper.
And then I'm such a sucker for animals. Like it's hard for me to say no.
Right.
Now, see, I'm a sucker for animals, and I can say no.
Yeah, but you're also a mean black man.
I'm also sucker for wallets and budgets and responsible parenting. So,
Almost done, Onyx. Onyx is like, are you done talking to these guys yet, mommy? Give me some time.
Sorry,
I'm
Onyx.
good.
Technically, we should have kicked Nana out 4 minutes ago, but we're just having such a
I
good
enjoy
time.
talking with you guys. I really do. This is great.
We don't have our gatekeeper. So, but my question was, I shouldn't have called him a gatekeeper. He's not a gatekeeper. Yeah, he's not a gatekeeper. He's more like it's the actual coffee, the dog guy.
Right,
he had another gig. He had another gig to do this morning.
He's more like the troll under the bridge.
Oh, I gotta pay him a cup of coffee to get across the bridge.
Well, and matter of fact, actually, him you had to pay in white weed.
White weed. Yep. Yeah. He needs the white weed.
Yeah,
what's white weed?
Yeah. Oh,
so the white weed is so he lives on Long Island, and he lives near the Poospatuck Indian reservations.
Okay.
And he goes down there to Weed World, and he gets his spicy leaves and all of that stuff, and his favorite is the white weed. It's a beautiful bud, and it's snow white, and it's the oils and the crystalline and everything. It's just white and sparkly, and it's gorgeous. It looks a lot like crystal meth, but it's not.
Those are
it's
the
weed.
diamonds.
And
those are the crystalline diamonds. I have some of those. They're pretty righteous. I will tell you that right now.
That's his. He refers to it as the white weed for loading and unloading only. So yeah.
So that's what you have to pay him in. Coffee won't, because he has enough coffee, because he used to sell coffee through the coffee of the dog thing, and it wasn't selling. So he has like a whole closet full of coffee, and if they're in 1 pound bags, that's a lot of coffee.
Yeah, that's a lot of coffee. I thought I drank a lot of coffee. I drink probably 2 pots of coffee a day, truth be told, and it's not that I love. My bladder is, I say I have TB, tiny bladder. I piss. I got 2 bathrooms. I can piss all day. You know what I'm saying? But I like coffee. I drink only water and coffee. I mentioned I used to weigh 444 pounds. I weighed myself this morning. I weigh 192 this morning.
Woo! Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I hate you.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go on.
I want to tell you something. Getting a dog, getting outside, walking every day, 3 or 4 or 5 times a day helps. But I started doing intermittent fasting. My sister Gina told me about it. I do what they call a dirty fast. I have a little bit of creamer in my coffee because I like my hazelnut. I eat 1 meal a day. I eat really whatever the fuck I want between noon and 5. And then I fast the rest of the time. I change it up. Like sometimes I don't eat till 5 o'clock at night because I forget to eat because I'm doing a show later and I don't want to be nervous. And what if I forget my gas?
Intermittent fasting was a big thing for me. I was 340 pounds almost 2 years ago, and I'm 270 now. And I'm trying to avoid the Ozempic and surgery and all of that.
I've done
bullshit.
none of that. Yeah.
And I'm as of 2 days ago, I'm 264 now, so I'm getting there. But yeah, intermittent fasting, dude. I'll tell you what. Not only did it help with losing weight, but like you said, like if I eat more than that, I feel sluggish and gross.
Yeah,
and like I can't go on stage if I eat. If I eat, I have no energy to go on stage. I'll go on there and I'm just like,
I want to be hungry when I go on stage. I want to be a little hungry, because it gives you that hunger. I'm always nervous because I want to do well. That's why we're nervous. But I also have to almost have to pee. If I almost have to pee, I seem to do better. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't know. You know what? I'm so glad you said that, because I'm the same. There's something about like right before I go on stage, and like here's the thing: before I go on stage, I'll order a Red Bull. And it's not for the caffeine. It's so I don't know. It's like having that little, like knowing I have to pee, giving me something to focus on a little bit. Takes my mind off of what I'm doing on stage, so that I can go out there and I can just go. It's crazy.
I do not. When I first started doing like 30-minute sets, because before when I was doing like 7-minute sets or something, if I had to pee, I could hold it. Yeah. But when I started doing 30-minute sets, like I don't know. So I make sure all systems are gone. Right. Sorry, all systems have gone before I get on stage.
Right.
And because literally once, and this is thank God for wireless mics, and thank God the fact that I'm a humorist and not a comedian. I was 12 minutes into a set, and I really had to pee, and I could not hold it. And so the audience, I'm still doing my routine, and they think this is part of the show. I went to the urinal, and I'm peeing and telling jokes, and they're laughing, and I'm peeing, I flushed, I washed my hands, and I came out, and everybody's like cracking up, and they're like, and the guy, and so I headlined, so nobody came after me,
right.
and so after the show, they're like, then when did you write that routine? I said, about 12 minutes into my set when I had to pee.
Right.
You know what, though?
Oh, that shit
on the
is
flip
funny.
side, though, having to pee helps, but nothing's worse than when you're in the middle of a set and then you have to shit really bad. That's like
clear. Okay.
That's why I'm happy that I get to sit down when I'm doing my sets in my wheelchair, because it's really easy to hold it when you're sitting, right? Like versus standing and walking around.
If you're moving around, just the sculptus or whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called anymore. When your stomach is just moving stuff. Now,
exactly. So I'm so like you could tell though. It's kind of funny. Like if I really have to use the bathroom when I'm on stage, you can kind of tell because I don't move. I'm a fucking statue.
We've seen that face on the air. We know what it's like. We know what you do. Yeah.
You know what? When you get older, you cannot trust a fart. Like you can't trust a cheat and a liar. You never trust.
I haven't trusted a fart since 2014. Like,
right?
Are you kidding me?
And you know what? There's a difference between shitting your pants and shitting yourself. Because when you shit your pants, it stays in your pants. You know what I'm saying? When it comes out the pants, that's when you shit yourself. And
again, that's why I'm happy I'm sitting down, man. I'm sitting down. It doesn't matter. I'm good. I can now if I leave the club immediately after I'm done with my set, you know what happened. Okay?
I gotta
go. Because I have a tendency to do longer sets. I don't try to eat new things before I go up.
Right.
I only eat things I know that my stomach knows what to do with.
Yes.
You know, so
I'm not going to get a taco off a truck.
Right.
That's exactly what I don't eat before I go on, man.
Right. Chicken fingers, maybe a fry or something like that. You know, something that my body knows what to do with. So I can go like, okay, I ate 2 chicken fingers and 12 French fries. I know that's going to take like an hour to get through. I'm only doing a 45-minute set. I'm cool.
Right. I'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to. It's like, oh, this taco smells great. I'll try it. And it's like 10 minutes in, my stomach goes like, abort. Abort set. Abort set.
You got the outhouse
explosion imminent.
GD's been in the bathroom with the microphone for 20 minutes. What's happening?
And so let me just this was it. No.
What's the deal with airplane food?
Hey, do you guys ever take your phone to the bathroom with you so you can you're writing, right? And I gotta go potty, and you run to the bathroom and you don't want to lose the premise, so you send yourself text messages from the toilet. You tell the jokes into your phone.
No, I scratch it on the wall like everybody else. That's why all those jokes are there. Comedians are in there like, oh, I got a great idea for a joke, and they start writing it on the wall right there. And then
for real.
Oh my god! If I had
they got it. That's why all those jokes have been there for years. Comedians go to the bathroom,
right?
Have a premise, and they scratch it into the wall while they're there.
Why do comedy clubs not have?
I thought you guys knew that.
We need. That needs to be a thing. There needs to be a bathroom at a comedy club where comics go in and they just write like just a stupid one-liner all over the walls. Just
right.
I don't know why that's
what you're gonna have to do is you have a wall that's made like a erase board and a mark on a string or something.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and then at the end of the night they go in.
They can go and erase it. Yeah. Everybody can put like a premise for a joke, and then someone can finish the joke. I'm part of a comedy writers guild, and CWG.
Same.
Yeah, and we on Thursday nights, someone will put up a premise, and then we'll write a joke about it. That would be a great idea for the friggin' evening, or when we're all waiting to get pulled on Kill Tony, or we're waiting to do our set for a mic. You know what I mean? Write a premise, and then, like you said, they can erase it at the end of the night, start all over. That's friggin' awesome.
Well, when I start my club, when I open up my comedy club, I'll probably call it the So GD Funny Comedy Bunker. because I'm already using it in for my basement. There's a thing called plausible.com, and plausible.com is online comedy. It is. I'm plugging it because I really believe in the product. It's real-time responses. You can see the audience. Like when you do it's online. So, but there's like you're the big screen, and they can have like 100 people in the audience, and you can see all their faces. If you want to scroll up and down, you can see them.
And you can
plausible.
Hear them.
PLAUZZABLE.com.
Gotcha. I want to check that out. Thank you.
And if you don't mind, friend myself and Steven, because
me and Steve are friends already. I will friend you.
I'm in on Plausible.
Okay. Cool. I will. That way you guys can show me some ropes and stuff.
Yeah, and also the technical.
That's racist. Just because he's black doesn't mean he knows ropes. Jeez.
But I know how to avoid them. I do know how to avoid them. I didn't make it to 66 years old by accident. I didn't make it to 66 years old living in areas like Howard County, Maryland, and Carroll County, Maryland, where if you're black, you're not after midnight. Well, not after.
I lived in some places that were like that too. Like Coolamy, North Carolina, which is halfway between Charlotte and Winston-Salem.
Oh, yeah.
They still had sinks that said colored and whites on them back in 1983, 84. No lie. That's disgusting.
I have friends in North Carolina. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Stephen.
Oh, I was just saying, I can't believe that that's still happening, especially when it's 11:15 Eastern Standard Time.
There's a store not too. We have a friend in North Carolina. There's a store near the closest store to the house. It's not that anymore because they moved. But where they used to live, the closest store to them. My wife, she's a woman of whiteness. My wife and I went to the store, and they were saying that they didn't want me to go into the store because they thought there might be trouble. So the white women went into the store to make the purchase. And I'm
surprised they let her in. That's how ignorant they used to be back then.
Well, they don't see who's in the car then, but
right.
They don't know that she's married to a black guy, except for the fact that she's smiling more than the other white women.
Fucking hell yeah. That's good. You need to write that shit down, brother. That was fucking good.
And she has a bigger gap in her walk, but that's,
and that bitch limp when she leaves my house.
That's one of my favorite doofy pickup lines is like when I'm hitting on a girl, be like, you come back to my place, you'll need this chair when you leave.
Yeah, you might walk in, bitch, you'll limp out.
That ain't a walk of shame. That's a limp of heroic.
That's a limp of ill repute.
She gets a Purple Heart for that one.
That's good. Let me let my dog out on the patio. Come on, little girl, go outside right here.
Let's see. Bill Rhodes says, I drove through Vidor, Texas with all of my black friends and didn't realize how bad it was there. We got a few
all of my black friend. It's one.
All
of my
black friend.
Realize how bad it was.
But dude, Indiana, we have towns like that here in Indiana that are sundown towns, dude. They're bad. Like I don't get it, but it happens a lot. It's rough.
I was in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was jogging at night because I was really nervous. I had leftover energy, and I was jogging, and a car full of let's call them rednecks because that's what they were.
Right.
And they started yelling things like, "Get your 7-second delay ready." They started yelling things like, "Hey, nigger," and stuff like that. Coon, stuff like that. And I just kept jogging. I just kept jogging because, first of all, I wasn't in a position to defend myself yet. And then I jogged past a mall near my hotel, and I see 2 cop cars up in the mall. So I'm thinking, I I know I'm in the South, so those police cars could help me
or hurt you, right?
So, but I knew the guys in the car were going to hurt me. So what I did was I jogged into the mall parking lot.
Right.
And then this is where my inner city training came in. When they pulled up, they came up toward me. I stood at the street lights with the lights behind me. So now I'm a shadow. So I'm more threatening. And they got out the car. And the police just let it all happen. They got out the car and they started walking toward me. And I took my hand and I moved it just like this behind my back. And I said, there's a reason I'm standing under this light and you can't see my face. And they stopped. And I said, you think about that. I said, do you want this kind of trouble? And I was bluffing like a motherfucker.
Right.
I mean, I was jogging. I was tired, but my heart was racing. And I was still like, yeah, come on, bring it.
Right.
And they stared at me. And they got back in the cars and they drove off. Away. I went like, fuck, because I don't know how many bullets I had in this wallet.
Right. God dang. But you know what? Thank God for the hood teaching you that, because that could have saved you from a serious ass whooping.
That's why I carry a boom boom stick.
It would have been if they were unarmed, they would have been in trouble because I did practice a little martial arts.
Right.
Enough that I could have taken them. I'm pretty sure of it. Unless they had guns.
You're like undercover brother.
Unless they had guns. If they had guns, then and that was the problem. That's why I made sure it's like they have to get to their gun before I could get to mine. And as far as they could tell, my hand was already on mine. Right. So they're like,
uh-oh.
Yeah,
they might have left theirs back in the pickup truck. You know, I am the oldest of 4 girls. My mom had 4 daughters, right? And I learned to fight real quick, defending my baby sisters. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And we, like I said, I am from Cleveland, West Side. I know how to fight. And West Side. Yeah, I was born in Cleveland Metro Hospital on West 25th Street. Lived over on Denison, where the zoo is over in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Fulton Avenue.
There a lot.
Yeah, that's where I used to live. And
but technically,
you're always on swivel.
I used to work in Parma and go into Cleveland.
My mother and my sister live in Parma right now. I have nieces and nephews that live all over Parma, Cleveland, Norton, Ohio. I mean, like all over. So that's Ohio's always going to be my home. You know what I'm saying? Now, my mom's family is from West Virginia. My grandmother met my grandfather and moved to Ohio. But before that, for generations, we were in West by God. We still have a lot of family there. But I don't know who my dad is. He got my mom pregnant twice and then left. But I had a great stepdaddy. Yeah. I don't even know what he looks like. I have no idea.
Oh, you're real black. You were black.
Yeah, I grew up in the hood. Yeah. So
how did you become a conservative?
I am not a conservative.
Oh,
I'm an American.
Well,
because here's my belief. The right wing and the left wing belong to the same bird, and that bird don't give a flying flip about any of us. And if you're not actively in politics and your whole life is about who you voted for, you need fucking mental health help. Because we're identifying now by who we voted for. And what's that saying us Americans have been saying for years? United we stand, divided we fall. We're divided. We need to get united. And fuck politics. We're Americans. And you know what? You're not black. You're not white. I'm not assorted cracker. We're fucking Americans. And I'm proud to be an American. I'm not really proud of my government right now, but I'm proud to be an American. And I will say till I'm dead. There's people out there that are red till they're dead and blue no matter who. And I say fuck them both. But I am all about freedom of speech. I'm all about freedom of religion. I'm all about freedom if I want to carry a pistol, because you know what? I'm a woman with nobody else in my life to protect me. And I do. When I lived in Oakland, East Oakland, I carried a pistol to walk my dog. I carried a taser during the day because of the hood I lived in. I have been on swivel my entire life until I got here to Austin. When I get around with these other comedians over here, I feel safe with them. Like they're my extended family. They're my tribe. I found my tribe here in Austin. You know what I'm saying? These young men, I am their Nana now, and they know it. And if I can do anything to help you, Nana's right here for you. You know what I mean? Because I believe putting it forward.
I think having that name Nana is actually almost off-putting. Well, I shouldn't say off-putting, but catch people off guard a little bit, because everyone who has a Nana has a stereotypical Nana who's Not a foul mouth Nana, but
not a
sweet little-
tattooed pot smoking. I've
Right.
sold everything from pills to pussy, honey. So I'm not your typical grandma.
Now, so that kind of helps. That does help. I mean,
Yeah.
now I also carry a taser, but that's just
Mhm.
because I like using it on myself. It's if I use it on somebody else, it's an accident. I misfired because I was aiming for myself, and you shouldn't have been that close to my. You shouldn't have been that close to my testicles.
I
And
do a
so-
bit where I say that I have a cord to charge my taser, my vibrator, and this headset. And it's a good thing I don't get the first two mixed up because that could be a lot of trouble. And they're both purple. You know what I mean? I named mine Barney because I love you, you love me, motherfucker.
Nana, I
Yes.
appreciate you being on. We're about the time we show to wind up. Actually,
Yeah.
your time ended 25 minutes. For those of you who are listening, Nana actually stopped 25 minutes ago. She's not here. we don't bend the rules for anybody. Just because Matt is not here doesn't mean we're going to break the rules. So
Thanks,
what you're
Matt.
hearing, so what you're hearing is a pre-recorded portion that we did with Nana, and we're just finishing it up later. She actually stopped the live part at 11 o'clock on the dot.
On the dot.
On the dot. Yes.
Professional.
This is all pre-recorded. This is not live.
You guys are great. You guys are great. All right. Anytime you want to come hang out, you holler at me. And,
sure. Now, I do have a question because Steven thought that had you been on the show before?
No, I have not been on this show before.
Okay,
I've been on a couple different.
You have a distinctive voice, also.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of now. It's not quite Lauren Bacall-ish. And for those of you who do not know what Lauren Bacall is, look up the old Humphrey Bogart movie, and I think called the Big Whistle, the Big Easy, the Big Easy. And then if you're a guy, get ready to handle your Kleenex.
She has an alto, sultry voice. I have an alto, sultry. Yes.
Yeah, she did. Her voice was, her voice laid the groundwork for like the Scarlett Johanssons.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, and
because not everybody likes when girls talk like this.
Right, and the one that was in Body Double.
Like this,
the lady that was in Body Double. What was her name? Kim something?
Basinger?
No, the one that was in Body Double. Maybe it's not a Kim. I can't remember her name. But
I got a traumatic brain injury. I don't even know what I had for breakfast yesterday.
But anyway, so Lauren Bacall laid the groundwork for the sultry voice.
Yeah.
So your voice is somewhat distinctive. So especially in comedy, it's not like the typical female high, voice. So do you find that calms guys down a little bit? Because a lot of guys will say like, I don't want to listen to a woman comic, or you're funny for a girl.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because I do have that deeper alto sultry voice. I want to tell you something. After I killed Tony, I didn't get the KT pop I was hoping to get. Like I said, I didn't have my Instagram on there and then my photograph, but I got so many messages from people telling me, mostly guys, I really love your voice, and then tried to send me a picture of their wiener. Keep your pork sword to yourself, guys. I'm gonna
do an OnlyFans and just say for $50, I will leave you a voicemail.
I have an OnlyFans, and I haven't utilized it yet. I just moved into my apartment a month ago. I'm not even unpacked yet. I still got shit everywhere. But I have an office that I'm going to set up, and I'm going to sit in there on my OnlyFans and tell jokes in a bikini and do bong rips and paint my toenails. I got gorgeous feet.
And offer to leave voice message, do the outgoing messages for people.
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
Do one like this. Hi,
Cameo.
Steven can't come to the phone right now because sorry.
Wait, I got better.
I'll finish later.
Hello, you've reached Steven Ortez. He can't come to the phone right now because his pork sword is down my gullet. Thank you, call back. I got
that's now Steven's going to take this and he's going to snip it and use it on his phone. Watch.
You go ahead.
I'm already doing it. Hold on.
Oh man.
You're welcome, Steven. No. And you got that for free. Everybody else is going to have to pay $25 to $50 depending on how long the
Oh
outgoing
no, I think I
message is.
got I think my cameo is $4.99.
But that's a cameo.
Hit me
That's
up
not
on
an
Cameo.
outgoing message. The outgoing
Oh, that's
message is
true
more.
too.
Outgoing
Yeah.
messages are personalized. You know, you use their name.
I'll do. Hey, listen, and I can tell someone to go to hell in a way that they look forward to the trip. So if you want me to do anything for you, I do voiceovers. I've done a couple commercials. I got a lot of different snippets on the Lamont and Tonelli show on KSAN San Francisco. It's a Cumulus station out there in San Fran. Actually, they just moved to Daly City, their offices, but they're still in the peninsula over there. But yeah, every once in a while you'll hear and you'll be like, who is that? My mom told me she was listening on iHeartRadio. She goes, I just heard you in a commercial for a Cumulus radio station. I'm like, yeah.
Well,
It's kind of cool.
For those of you listening to Nana, check out her. Well, once it's up and running. No, when are you planning on having it up and running?
Up and running my
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
Within the next week, I'm gonna start
Oh, that's a little bit
putting
soon.
up
I was gonna say,
content.
well, let us know when you have it up and running. We will.
I will, because it'll be fun. And like I said, I don't have a belly button. I really don't. So I can wear like a bra and a pair of panties and walk around. And I got a nice bong. I can do bong rips and tell dick and fart jokes because dick and fart jokes, it's like butter. It's life to me.
Now, if you don't have a navel, if you don't have a belly button, where do you keep your milk duds? Because that's
under these big ass titties. That's where.
Don't they melt the chocolate? That's what I'm saying. It's.
Yeah, and then I can just suck on the. I can take my teeth out.
If you had said M&Ms, I'd have believed you if you said M&Ms because they melt in your mouth, not under your boobs.
Not in your hand. They leave your boobies. I've dropped an M&M in my cleavage and had a red mark and a yellow mark. They do melt on the titties.
Yeah, they run, but that's not melting. They melt inside the hard candy, but the colors run.
Right, they do run a little bit. That's funny.
And that's kind of like one of my clan stories I tell. I do. I have one of my clan stories that I tell. Actually, in my first show, and there's a. Let me see. There's a. See if I can remember. There's these two clans. Oh, well, I know what it was. The premise, because there was a. This was right after Trump won the 2016 election. So this is that November 2016. And they were holding a Klan rally in Georgia. And it was like, they'd held a Klan rally in July in Georgia. And it's hot. And that's the other thing is that, first of all, you'd think that the Klan forgot how hot it gets in Georgia. So why would they hold a rally with their sheets and their hoods, right? But they did. And the sheriff and one guy passed out.
They melted underneath them.
He passed out, dehydrated.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
GD,
Steven.
if you're gonna tell this story here, you need to
do the time.
Well, it's 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then we're gonna put GD in his mask here so he can tell the story.
Jesus fuck!
Where white women at? Sorry.
Where the white women at? Yeah. Hey, I gotta pee. I'm gonna turn off my mic, but I'm still listening. Go ahead.
Leave the mic on. No, so. The Klansman dehydrated and passed out.
Oh, no.
And the sheriff who revived him was a black guy.
Oops.
And so the joke that I do was that he was so dehydrated that he couldn't make the double G sound in his throat when the sheriff went to help him. So he couldn't say, no. And once the sheriff gave him water, he was like, nigger. Thank you, nigger. So,
oh my God.
Oh my God, that's out of control. Listen, I'm flushing. I gotta wash my hands.
So.
Oh my gosh.
And the premise is based on like I don't know, like I used to march in the 70s, and like you'd be like everybody in the front of the march can hear what's going on, but everybody in the back of the march has, we're having our own conversations. We're not even talking about what it is that they're marching for anymore. We're just and that's what I was doing with the Klan rally. Like the people in the back of the Klan rally I was making up a conversation that they were having. It's like, yeah, remember the good old days? Remember the good old days we could just walk down the street and those niggas would run? But they don't they don't run anymore. They just their colors run, but they don't or something like that. I can't remember. I did this whole conversation with these Klansmen in the back of the parade.
Isn't that crazy? God dang.
But it's fun. I Look, I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie to you. In case you haven't noticed, I can talk for a very long time, and you can talk for a very long time. That's what happens. Like when we get old enough to have stories to tell.
Yes, we want to tell them.
There's nothing. Yeah, and there's nothing worse than having stories to tell, and you got somebody who hasn't heard them yet.
Right. You know what? Here's the thing too. This is another reason I wanted to do comedy. My whole life I've been told, shut up, quit talking. They don't want to hear your side. When you got that mic in your hand, that's power. And I can tell my side of the story and I can make you laugh. And that's the best thing ever. When I have a joke that I say, I have gained and lost so much weight. I'm pretty sure the stretch marks that are right around my beehole look like rings on a tree stump. And when you have grown people moving their head, it's powerful. It's powerful. You know.
Nana, and I'm not telling you to sit down and shut up because of anything personal. It's just that we usually end the show at 11:30.
I know it's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go, and but I really, really enjoyed conversing with you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having a woman on the show that has a different point of view that Steven isn't trying to fuck. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That slipped out. That's not what I meant to say. That's not what I meant to say.
That wasn't even the case the last time.
That's
I'm sorry. That was that.
Freudian
Steven, I apologize.
It was a little slip.
Yeah, I meant to say finger bang. But so Nana, thank you so much. I appreciate this.
I appreciate you guys. Anytime you want somebody on and you need to fill, you holler at me. Nana will be here for you.
And feel free to reach out to us. I mean, we did this in an unconventional way. We have a site, minddogtv.com/booking, and you can book yourself. Yeah, write that down. You can actually book yourself. The way we did this was a little bit different because right now the calendar was broken, I think.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have a guest scheduled for the day, so we were looking for people that we thought we want to talk to. So that's another thing. We actually wanted to talk to you.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Steven wanted to talk to you because he knew who you were. Right. I was willing to talk to you because I don't trust Steven. Because I don't trust his judgment. So, no.
Oh, it's amazing. You guys, it was a pleasure being here. I appreciate you. Again, anyone that's listening, Blazing, BLAZING.Nana, NANA, Blazing Nana. Look me up on Instagram. Follow me. And when you come to Austin, holler at me. I'll take you over to Voodoo Donuts and we'll go have coffee and a donut over there. It's outstanding.
Now they don't have real weed down there though, right? So I have to smuggle my own weed.
You gotta, be careful. Be careful. We have right now in the state of Texas, we're trying to get the governor to veto the SB3, which will ban all cannabis businesses and products and everything. And thousands of us here in Texas have signed and wrote letters saying, hey, listen, we're not little kids out here trying to get high. We're grown folks that don't want to take these pain pills that are too addictive. We just want to have a little bit of grass, And so we have, I think, until the 8th of this month to see if he vetoes this. If he does, free sailing. If not, it's going to be like 1985 back in friggin' Texas. So be careful if you have the real deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that whoever and now, because I never expected Trump to do this. But I fault Biden and I fault Obama in this. They could have put a little bit of pressure so that marijuana was not treated like those other drugs. They could have just it's not a Schedule 1. It's not a Schedule 1 drug. It's not even a drug. It's a plant.
It's a plant.
Let's do research. Let's get rid of the penalties. And I think that would have gone a long way to some of this stuff. And
the government has been doing studies on marijuana. If you go to Google, you can look up the patents.
But they've been doing the studies, but it's still considered a Schedule 1 drug, right?
Right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They should have dropped that from Schedule 1 to whatever the lowest schedule is. Matter of fact, it should be unscheduled. It should be an unscheduled drug.
Like Blazing Nana, unscheduled, because it's the best scheduled.
Fuck yeah. Let me tell you something. I've been smoking weed since 1978. I've also had 12 major surgeries, and I've not taken one pain pill. My last surgery, I had 250 stitches in my abdomen from hip to hip, from pussy to fucking between my titties. I got an upside down T scar. I didn't take one pill for recovery. I use cannabis to help me because I am so highly allergic to opiates and opiate alkaloids. When I throw up, it comes up my tear ducts, my nose, and my mouth. I can't even take kratom, you know, that powder from the Japanese tree, because it's an opiate alkaloid, and I projectile vomit it. So I really do use cannabis products for pain relief. I help them with my PTSD and my battered women syndrome. It helps me with so many different, I have arthritis, I have fibromyalgia, I got diverticularitis. I got all these problems. I'm old, and I didn't take care of myself when I was young. If I knew I was going to live this old, I would have taken better care of myself back in the 80s, you know? But I use cannabis every day for medicine. And don't get me wrong, I love being high. I want to get so high I can't grab my ass with both hands, but I use it for medicine.
You're going to have to come back when Matt, you're going to have to come back when Matt is here so that the two of you can discuss the getting high and the grabbing your hands with both asses. I mean, grabbing your ass with both hands or something. You and Matt, I'm telling you, I'm not going to speak for Matt because he's illiterate, but if he weren't illiterate, I'm sure he would love to talk to you.
I would love to talk to him too. You guys holler at me. I'm going to sign out of here. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, please do, because we'll keep going. We'll keep going. You
Love
have
you
to
guys.
be the grown up.
Genie doesn't know how to shut the fuck up.
No, you have to be.
You guys are great.
It's like two teenagers on the phone saying, "No, you hang up first.
You hang up first. No, you hang up first. You guys have a great one."
Okay.
Steven took me out the room. Damn it. All right, that was Blazing Nana, and I have to give Steven credit. He found her. She's very entertaining. And Steven, you know where the radio button is? If you know where it is, you can.
I do, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow, and we'll have some fun, and we're gonna talk about an email I just got saying that I was chosen for a comedy
I didn't tell my raccoon story. I didn't tell my raccoon story. I'll do it tomorrow.
I was accepted for a comedy contest and just told that I could not be on because of the wheelchair. So we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Oh fuck, man, that sucks. That sucks.
It does.
We'll talk about tomorrow. Okay.
All right. So I guess
I'll say the word and you hit the button. How's that sound?
Yeah. Let me find the button.
Steve is looking for the button. If those of you who have stuck around because they're like, I know we ran way over. So we appreciate those of you who hung out with us. We appreciate you hanging out with us. I don't know what Matt's going to do with the extra length. It'd be new to him. He's not used to having extra length, but because we usually end on time. That's not a dick joke. For those of you who think I did a dick joke, no, I don't tell dick jokes. I have thoughtful penis commentary. So
all right.
So everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching, and turn on your radio.
me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.